Detroit Pistons tonight at Rocket Arena. They lead the series 3-2. Head coach Kenny Atkinson feels that the Cavs got to take care of business tonight in Game 6.
It's a great opportunity for this group. I've been in this position before and have lost this next game, this Game 6. And then that puts a lot of pressure on you in Game 7, especially if you got to go on the road. And obviously take energy from you if you end up advancing. So kind of a must-win game for us in terms of if we want to, move forward.
Victory puts the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2018. PGA Championship first round on Thursday. 7 players tied for the lead at 3 under par, and that includes the defending champion Scottie Scheffler. He will start his second round at 8:40 this morning. On the ice, Cleveland Monsters lose Game 1 of their playoff series to Toronto 5-2. Game 2 of the best-of-5 series tomorrow night at Rocket Arena. Can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show and Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Get primed for the Cavs playoffs on your ride home. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. Cleveland's Sports Radio. 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Oh, but that was my last quarter. It's the bye week. It does that once a year. Oh, my quarterback. Sorry. Shedeur's off this week.
I would say pretty darn close to 100%. You can never say never, but Andrew Berry has been adamant, and Jimmy Haslam has been adamant about the fact that they're not trading Myles Garrett, that they do feel like they're poised to kind of take off once they figure out the quarterback situation. I mean, if this team grows up a little bit this year and then a little bit more next year, they should be able to win some significant games next year if they have a quarterback.
This is Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
I'm not saying that I think that Max Strus is a pretty man. I'm saying that it has been brought to my attention before last night by people that I know that perhaps, maybe, he is a good-looking man.
The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima. This is Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Tone, good morning.
Kenny.
7-9.
Cannot wait. I can't wait.
7-9.
Oh, 7-9.
Oh, what were you saying you can't wait for?
Just today in general, I can't wait.
What? Why?
We got our NFL schedule.
You're not looking at me. You're looking into the abyss. What is going on here?
We've got our NFL schedule. We've got Cavs potentially punching their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Got the Guardians in their 2016 American League Championship team.
I saw
reunion. Brandon Geyer.
That's the one I saw. Yeah, we both saw the same thing.
On the plane with his family. I go, that's a nice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice.
That is nice.
Corey Kluber's going to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. There's a Rajay Davis bobblehead tomorrow, which some people made a big deal about. We already talked about it. You don't think it's a big deal? I don't think it's a big deal, right?
What part of
we
it?
agree that it's not a big deal? Well, it's a nice thing, and it's not a big deal that they didn't win the game. Right?
Oh, okay.
Are we on the same page there? I thought we were.
You're still commemorating what was
a nice moment.
One of the awesome runs of my life.
Guys, if this was football, like you wouldn't celebrate. Oh, hell, I don't know. You wouldn't celebrate a great performance in the 86 AFC Championship game. Do you not recognize those players for playing in the AFC Championship game?
We do. Our entire football history for people in our age bracket hinges on celebrating those 80s teams, which didn't even get to the Super Bowl. This Guardians team got all the way to the World Series.
It's just a different sport. Wait a minute. I said 7-9. I mean 7-10. Damn it. I keep messing it up. I'm sorry. I'm still
you
sticking to 7-10.
You didn't want to give them the extra loss. That's fine.
No, I apologize. 7-9-1. How about that? Boom. Going back to that real quick. Baseball's different. Like Bobby Thompson, Ralph Branca, there was basically I believe there was a friendship that happened because of that, because of their connection in history, because of the home run heard around the world in 1951. Like things, it's just different. It is just a different sport, and history is celebrated. And it was a big home run. I know it didn't go our way. It sucked that it didn't go our way. It'd been great if it went our way. It didn't go that way. So yeah, it's the way it goes. But Rajay Davis seems like a nice guy. Perfectly fine celebrating his home run in Game 7. Perfectly fine celebrating all these guys coming back in and enjoying all the Guardians fans that are out there. Those former Cleveland Indians from 2016. Perfectly fine.
And Kenny, the Cleveland Marathon this weekend. And I really just tell people that,
as
a scheduling issue on Sunday, if any of you are trying to get
They're not running over to that
downtown.
part that they got to fix over there, do they?
I hope that all that's taken care of.
All right. I hope not. I hope they're not running there because that's going to be taken care of till like mid-June. That was a scary scenario. I'm glad apparently nobody had to find anything out terribly there. All right, so the schedule came out. We're going to get to the Cavs coming up here at 6:40. I promise you that because JB Bickerstaff looks pretty weak. I got 7-10. I'm sorry, I said it again. I did the same exact thing last year. I only put 16 games together when I said the number, and I went, damn it. So I got 7-10. What do you got?
I'm on 6-11.
6-11.
6-11.
KY.
So this is had it have been like one of the tougher schedules in the league, you would not have wanted me to come on the air today, most likely. But
Hayden Grove, our buddy, said 2-15. I go, you only see 2 wins on the schedule?
Yeah, why did he have him so much worse than last year?
I think he just wants Arch Manning really bad.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's kind of like hoping for it. I love Hayden, but I'm like...
Yeah, but unless you wager on it, and even the most negative of Browns fans, once we get to the good weather, the season's underway, you have your depth chart, I think it's hard to ever assume your team's only going to win 2 games.
We're in this weird spot. It's not even purgatory. It's just what this team should do. Because like there's teams like if your quarterback ain't good, like I consider like we say purgatory all the time, and I'm like, if you truly believe your quarterback can't get it done, but he's a franchise guy and you can't do anything about it, you're in purgatory. Like, hate to say it, fun guy, Phillip Rivers, Chargers fans, a lot of Chargers fans are like, this is purgatory. Like, he's good, but we can't get past Tom Brady.
Right.
There's other, like, hate to say it, well, I'm going to say it, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is like, well, he's really good, but is he good enough to get us to some other level? Like, that's possibly purgatory there. I think this is just a tug and pull, whatever it is, because I think there's people who heard it 7-10 and went, okay, hey, that's 2 better than last year. All right, fine. Yeah. But I think there's some people who heard me say 7-10. Well, they first heard me say 7-9 and go, Kenny, you messed it up. They heard me say 7-10, and then they thought, why do you cheer for this when all we're going to get is to the middle of the draft and we're not going to get the quarterback, Kenny? And to that I say, I'm telling you, I'm starting to just run with it, especially since Mina Kimes said it when I was on vacation. I go, wait, I said it. I said it a week ago. I said it before that. But Mina Kimes said it, and I go, okay, so somebody else has either heard it or said it, so I'm not the crazy one, and Mina Kimes is very smart and not a crazy person, and so you guys can think I'm nuts, but you don't think Mina Kimes is nuts, so I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to go, hey, 7-10, they're not planning on losing. Everything they've done, you could say that you think that the players they draft, like I got some crazy tweets last night. Social media reactions brought to you by Shiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. I got some crazy stuff last night going, how could you say, and I'm not trying to talk tough and say the Browns are going to be great. I'm just pointing out that you can't tell me that they're not trying to win this year with everything that they've done. You could say you don't have faith in them, okay, but they're trying to win. They're not. In 2016, that was a fight. We know what they were trying to do. We really know what they were trying to do even in 2017. This is not it. This is not it for this team. So at 7-10, I told you my crazy theory is that they're going to try to build around because I'm telling you, you go 2-15 and Todd Monken's getting fired and Trayden Miles getting all these guys look terrible and these guys look like bad draft picks. Yeah, you might get it naturally, but you might be 2-15 and I'm telling that family might just decide, hey, thanks, but no thanks. Nah, we're not doing this. We've done it with Eli. We technically did it with Peyton Manning, even though nobody really wants to talk about that. We're not going to be, we might all be friends, but this ain't going to happen. So I think that they're thinking.
Now, if you take Sorsby in the supplemental draft, you don't have to worry about any of this conversation.
Damn it, now you know what you got.
Now,
there.
Kenny, meanwhile, they do start the season playing 6 of 9 on the road.
Yeah.
We're one of the younger teams, at least in our 2 deep, we will be one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Does that sound off any alarms that, given their quarterback situation,
that's not a lot of fun.
The youth, and you go on the road as much as you do, and then you end up backloading your home games when the weather's bad? So does that change? Is that something that would cause you to say, "Oh, I had 7-10"?
I was told last year
maybe
during
6-11.
Well, I was told last year during all the lawsuits that it's a home field advantage. the weather's a home field advantage for us. So get ready to rake it in at the end of the year.
And that's pretty crazy because they are at home November 15th. Then they have the bye. Is that going through the math? Okay, so they are home from November 15th until December 6th.
Okay. No, December 13th.
December 13th, I'm sorry, yes.
November 15th through December 13th.
So 5 straight weeks because one of them's a bye.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. So
it's a weird schedule.
It's bizarre in that regard, but then it's totally normal with the Browns in that there is only one primetime game, and because they don't play the Wests, they're just 1 o'clock all year.
Does it bother you?
Which is my dream come true.
Well, I got a lot of people. It was funny to hear Joey. Joey was fine with 1 o'clock. Joey came in here, he was adjusting the cameras because, we got Daryl coming on at 8:20 this morning. We got Jason Lloyd coming on at 9 because obviously we got to get ready. Got to talk about the Browns, and obviously we got to get ready for the Cavs tonight because Game 6 is tonight here in downtown Cleveland. The prices have jumped up. We'll give you a market watch later on. However, I was surprised to hear a young man. I think Joey's 23 or 22. Joey was like, I'm fine with 1 o'clock. Go ahead. Do it at 1 o'clock. That's fine. I know it seems like the NFL is telling you, so it's why I'm like, it's hard to play the schedule game, guys, when the NFL is clearly like, yeah, you really don't have any business playing the schedule game. Okay, but I'm fine with them going out and earning it because you this is the biggest champions pose maybe you've ever had over me emotionally. Is you kept bringing up that you're going to regret primetime games. Go look at Patriots fans. They don't play any games at 1 o'clock. Everything's in prime time. This is back during the Brady years. And I yelled and screamed, and then we played 2019, and it seemed like there was a primetime game every week, and we were terrible that year. And it was like going to the chair every single week. Because not only did you think you were going to lose, you had to wait all day to get through it. And then it was awful.
And then you'd be humiliated.
And then you'd be humiliated on national television. And then the next day, because you were the only thing playing, all the talking heads would. You're not in that place right now. You're just not in that place. When the national talking heads talk about you, let's call it what it is. You have either Shedeur Sanders, which we're going to mention here coming up here in a bit, because I thought Daryl had a very interesting point I want to get to at 6:23. They're either talking about Shedeur, but they're really talking about trading Miles. And those are conversations that the one conversation with Shedeur, I think some people go crazy about. Or if you just look at it and go, yeah, I want Shedeur to play. I don't know if he's going to start because you got one guy who's a veteran. People can't look at it that way. So that goes off the rails. And then the other conversation is a conversation I don't want to have because it is uncomfortable and it torpedoes everything for this year. And you have a guy who we just had in studio for 40 minutes telling us great stories and great off the air. And I would actually feel bad for him, even though he's getting paid a boatload of money, because it's like, okay, they just torpedoed your maybe one and only season as an NFL head coach. And I'd feel terrible about that. So those are conversations. I'll have the Shedeur conversation. The Miles conversation means something so much more and so much deeper to what the fabric of the organization is. So you don't want to have those conversations, guys. You guys don't like it when we talk about trading Miles. You don't like any of that. You either fight about doing it, fight about not, or you really hate having the conversation. I think everybody agrees with that. So what's the point of doing that? So just play the games at 1, and if you win 8 games, 9 games, say you go 9-8, and one of your QBs ends up being good. Say Shedeur ends up being good. Guys, you're going to have primetime games falling out of your pockets next year. Okay, you got to earn it. That's fine. I'm fine with earning it. It's all right, because when we did it in 2019, and it seemed like it was like 7-8-1 coming off of 2018, maybe this is going to be fun. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare that season.
All right, already they are either 7 or 7.5 point underdogs in the opener at Jacksonville. To remind people, Jacksonville went 13-4 last year, and lost to the Bills in the playoffs. It was a very competitive game. Then they are at Tampa Bay. They will be underdogs again, correct?
Yeah.
Then Carolina at home, finally kicking off their home slate, the latest I can ever remember since '99. Them having their first home game not till the end of September against the Carolina Panthers. Mm-hmm. Carolina was 8-9 last year.
We are playing the scheduled game, the scheduled damn game right now.
Will we be underdogs again? I think we will.
What do you want me to tell you? Are you looking for a game we're going to be favored in?
Yes. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night at home. They will likely be underdogs.
Probably
again.
Underdogs.
You don't think it depends on who the quarterback is for the Steelers?
Oh, I'm assuming it's Aaron Rodgers now. But
aren't you assuming it's Aaron Rodgers, John?
No, not until he signs.
Okay.
No, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's crazy.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it's not Aaron Rodgers.
Grow up. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
It'd be great if he does it, and then you could play that into infinity if you want to.
And then finally, we are at the Jets, October 11th. That would be the one you'd circle as the first game they'd be favorites.
Okay. That's
fine. Only if you do anything in the first few weeks.
They won 5 games last year. Like, part of this is you just kind of got to... You got to groan and go, yeah, it is what it is, guys. You don't like to do that. You have to provide something more. I get that, but it is what it is. You were not a very good football team over the last 2 years. They don't think much of your quarterback situation. In so many ways, man, like, you don't. I do have questions about the offensive line, even though they got to be better, but we'll see. I think that these are good players. I'm just worried if the sum of all the parts are going to work together. I have a lot of faith in George Warhop. But if it doesn't work, this is going to be a disaster season. There's times where, your bottom line, the Steelers' bottom line is 8 wins, right? That seems to be where their baseline
now, that was under Mike Tomlin.
That was under Mike Tomlin.
That's out the window now.
So maybe their baseline is lower, but historically their baseline has been 9 wins, I should say, because they've always been over 500 or 500. So in the 17-game era, 9 wins. So baseline's around 500. For us, our baseline is 1 win. So our baseline could be an absolute disaster season going forward. Well, they're not going to risk putting us against. And by the way, look at the opponents you're playing. You're not playing great opponents. Your schedule isn't that great. I'm sorry. Is the Raiders game against the Browns on November 29th? Is that sexy to anybody?
Is that Mendoza's first game as quarterback?
I think he'll probably start much earlier than that. I mean, where are the sexy games, man? At Tennessee. Tennessee is probably getting off the mat, but I don't think Tennessee is a really provocative Super Bowl contender.
You can't even call it the Rossini-Vrabel Bowl because, neither are there now.
It is not 9:45.
Can you get their hotel suite when you stay there on Broadway?
Did you hear Albert Breer about that yesterday?
What?
He said he expects Mike Vrabel to coach this year. Champions Post.
And then I heard more of Albert Breer, and then I'm like,
God,
I don't know.
Why are you want him to coach Ohio State? You're rooting for this to get uglier. You are rooting for it to get uglier.
2 seconds later,
he's rooting for it.
Albert Breer is like, well, unless there's more to come out. There's been more to come out every day of the week.
I mean, what more could come out now?
Oh, you want...
They were spotted in line together at a Costco in 1998. Like, come on, guys.
You want DNA testing? Is that what you want, Kenny?
No, I'm not doing that. Is Maury Povich still alive?
Well, I've already seen...
Is he? I know he's retired,
I've already seen the AI videos of that.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, we're in the gutter. All right. 216-474-0092.
Did you have a favorite schedule release video?
Yeah, the Tennessee Titans. We'll talk about that coming up at about last night. It was easily the Tennessee Titans for me. Daryl's going to join us at 8:20, and when we come back in 5 minutes, I want you guys to hear what Daryl had to say last night about it because it's pretty spicy out there what the schedule release might have been telling you about who to expect to start at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this year. Ken Carman, Tone Master General, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app.
well. But wait, there's more. All the lanes closed on State Route 176 North beyond Denison because of repairs. Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland Traffic.
Don't trust anybody with your Cavs playoff coverage unless they have sports in their name. We are Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Daryl Rutter, 8:22 this morning. He had a spicy theory himself, which I caught a little hell in the opening segment about the Arch Manning stuff. If you guys don't want him, then you don't want him. We can have that conversation. I let you know what I think their plan may be. Like, it's like, hey, let's try to win games. And if we win some games, but we still don't think we have a quarterback here, maybe Arch will try to game the system. It's up to you guys whether or not you think he sucks or not, or he's overrated, or you're tired of hearing about him, or anything like that. But I'm telling you, if you're like a 1-16 dumpster fire, he could I would say the chances are likely great that he'd go, no thanks. No. You use the pick on somebody else. Ain't going to happen. Or you can take me and trade me because I ain't playing for you. Like one of them deals. Like I looked at what Dante Moore did this last year, and I'm just reading tea leaves here. Like I think we're going to see more of this. Empowering themselves to pick where they want to go at that level. You have NIL money now. You can make a living now. I want to move on, but I'm telling you this. When I saw Dante Moore go back, I'm like, he don't want to be drafted by the Jets. He don't want to go to the Jets. He's going to make a hell of a lot of money to go back to Oregon, so that's nice. And do you want to play for the Jets? Who would you rather play for? Would you rather make $8 million playing for Oregon, just throwing that number out there willy-nilly? Or would you rather go to the Jets?
$8 million?
I'll play at Oregon.
$8 million is not even crazy.
I'll play at Oregon, and I'll take my chances. Because $8 million I can live off $8 million. I have an insurance policy if something terrible happens. Like, I'm sorry, guys, it's not the mid-2000s anymore.
Boy,
they
so
feel
true.
differently about that. Who's the possible number one pick? They were saying the Kings better not get the number one pick in the NBA draft. He ain't going to go there. He is not going to play there. I'm trying to remember who the number one pick should possibly be, and I'm drawing a total brain fart here.
That's the thing. Like, we've always talked about guys having agency because of the Manning situation. John Elway way back in the day. Mm-hmm. Bernie Kosar, used the supplemental draft to his advantage. Like, guys have done it here and there, but now you have a steady flow of future NFL quarterbacks that are all making more money than some of the players in the NFL today. Mm-hmm. We've just never had a situation where it was that out of sorts.
216-474-0092. So Daryl had a hell of a theory last night when the schedule got released. I love it because I can't help it. I know social media teams are social media teams, mm-hmm. and I shouldn't think that much into it, but you couldn't help it. And Daryl, you're either going to roll your eyes or you're going to say there's a possibility here. Here's Daryl Rutter last night about the significance of the schedule being released, the video, and a certain person who's in it.
The Browns are extremely thoughtful about what they put out there on their social channels, and they don't make mistakes with what they put out there. It's really hard for me not to read something into that they promoted or mentioned Shedeur Sanders in this video, but they didn't mention Deshaun Watson. I think we know what part of it is, right? One kid's marketable, the other one not so much. It's not lost on me. I don't think that really influences anything that Todd Monken is thinking or what he's going to do or anything, but it's really hard not to try and read something into that he is the quarterback that gets the feature in the team video. I don't think that was done by accident. Again, everything they do is thought out, and there's a purpose behind it. Maybe I am giving them too much credit, and if I am, I'll admit it. What was the first thing that I said to you when I watched the video?
You immediately pointed out the fact that Shedeur Sanders is in it. It was the first thing that caught your eye. Beyond it, you watched about the first 30 seconds of it, and you were like, oh, this is interesting. Then you go, and Shedeur's in it.
I always kind of laugh at the people who put on the social media stuff. It's like, well, they don't pick the starters, they don't pick the lineup, they don't. And this is any team in any city anywhere. It's like, well, they don't pick it. It is what it is. Maybe you're just frustrated and you're going to get the opinion off, which is fine. But when I see Shedeur in the video, clearly we know who they want to start. They don't want to start Deshaun Watson. Dylan Gabriel's not a conversation. Taylor Green's not a serious conversation. 53-man roster. Some people took it the wrong way earlier this week. And it's like, no, but I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if we got to that November 29th game and here comes Taylor Green, because that's the way Brown seasons have gone in the past. But you can't tell me that when he's featured prominently in the video, the schedule release video, when he is featured prominently on a lot of things that they have, like, we know who they want to start. They might not start him, but we know who they want to get the job, which might end up being a good thing for everybody involved. But I see the same thing Daryl sees, and it's like it's not a guarantee that he's going to start, because I want Todd Monken to be empowered to make the decision and make the decision. And if he makes the decision to start somebody else, even Deshaun Watson, I'll deal with it. But it clearly shows who they want to win that job and to start for him this year. And I actually think, you look at where their schedule is, there's not great opponents here. There's not sexy opponents here. It's not a who's who. The Giants are a team that might be on the up, but a lot of these teams are kind of whatever. We'll see where they are. And you could look at it and go, hey, these are not terrible opponents. Maybe the schedule actually plays into Shedeur's hands a little bit here. Maybe you feel differently because the games do start off on the road.
Well, I'll just say I'd love it to have some big opinion on the schedule release video and what it means for the team. I just think it's pretty common sense that you're not going to promote Deshaun Watson anywhere, especially knowing that these videos are all going viral, some for good, some for bad, many for bad, but they're all going to go viral. And given the sensitive nature of everything surrounding Deshaun Watson, even after all these years, like, there's just no planet where they're going to have fun, make light, and throw Deshaun Watson in a feel-good video that could go viral. There's no social media team on the planet that would do that. They just wouldn't. So I didn't read anything into that.
But I can't accept, because Daryl says they're thoughtful with what they put out there. That's exactly why I say it's like they want Shedeur to start over Deshaun Watson. I think they want it.
Well, I think there's 100 reasons why you'd want Deshaun.
And that is another one. There's another one of those things. Like, if they really, like, I didn't see Dylan Gabriel in it. I didn't see Deshaun Watson in it.
Dylan Gabriel's getting traded.
There's a lot of okay, but I'm using him as an example in the quarterback room. Okay, Taylor Green. There's obviously no conversation there yet. Like, you don't see those guys featured.
So who was it? It was Judkins,
Quinshon Judkins, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward was in it. Right off the top of my head. Shedeur was in it, obviously. A couple others were in it. I just got to try to remember who the hell it was. I only watched it twice to try to see, because it kind of went through the schedule a little quickly there with some of the other ones. If I'm going to have a criticism, that was one of them. I was like, I kind of like to see who they're playing.
How much money do you think these teams are spending on these videos?
A lot of money. Well, the one guy had they had some. I'd never heard of Matt Pat. I have no idea who the hell he is.
Yeah, I had to look up. Very impressive background. I had no idea. It's valedictorian, Medina. He's
from here.
And Duke. He went to Duke.
And what's he do now?
Then he was studying theater.
Is he an actor?
I think he's just a social media influencer.
Okay. Oh, I looked. Somebody added him, and I saw he had 5 million followers.
And he owns his own media company.
He's clearly well known by fans. I've never heard of the guy. So they clearly had to spend some money to get him on it, right?
Yes.
So these teams spend a lot of money on these things.
Yes, they do.
And they want to get people excited. Nobody's going to get excited over Deshaun Watson. In fact, if they had Deshaun Watson featured prominently in it, what are we saying today? Like, you have to think about the other side of it.
Right.
So I don't think that the schedule release or anything means anything to Todd Monken or his staff. I don't think it means anything to them. But I do think it means something with the ownership. I do think it means something with everything in marketing and business, where it's like, hey, they really want Shedeur to take this job and win this job. Because if you got to play the other guy, then I got to get on the phone and I got to try to sell tickets to the other guy that Browns fans don't want to see. Like, you can, if you're a Browns fan, I do talk to some Browns fans. They're tired of the craziness. They're tired of all the losing. They just want to move forward with someone else or some way else, okay? But they're much more open to Shedeur because he seems like a nice guy. Certainly gets around in the community.
Marketable.
Very, very nicely. Exactly. And then the other one, it just reminds them of a terrible trade and a lost generation.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. I mean, we're still wondering what Joel Bitonio is going to do. It's like, if nobody loses their minds and Baker gets settled down and the Browns get settled down, it might not be where we're all having diamonds, but it's also much better than what we're dealing with here over the last few years. Think about the fate. And you could say whatever you want to about all allegations and things like that. Yes, that's part of the story. But also the losing, the playing a one great half against Baltimore and then getting hurt and being out for the rest of the year and then being out most of the next year you weren't even playing well, that's a big part of the story as well. reminding that it's bad football, and you have this albatross contract in the word of Troy Aikman. That's part of the reminder. So if he were featured in it, your reaction is going to be so much more negative. Some people have some criticism over the video itself. Some people have criticism over Street Fighter or whatever. There's no criticism really of this because it's like, hey, Shedeur's a likable guy. They want Shedeur to win the job. We just don't know if he will. And as a lot of things that are seen, maybe he won't. If we're reading all the different reports and all the other things, it would probably be Deshaun Watson, but they ain't going to feature him. No. 216-474-0092. 820. Daryl Ryder going to join us on the show. 9 o'clock, Jason Lloyd's going to join us on the show. Coming up at 8, by the way, was it a rude awakening for part of the fan base, this schedule coming out? But coming up in 5 minutes, JB Bickerstaff looks pretty weak this morning. Game 6 coming up in downtown Cleveland tonight on The Fan.
just stay calm, cool throughout, right? Understand we've been here before.
Donovan Mitchell and others. As soon as the final buzzer sounds, we're your home for post-game reaction. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Hey, Coach, did they give you a reason why there was no foul call on Jared Allen on that?
He fouled Asar. It's that, clear. He trips him when he's going for a loose ball. In the game situation, that's tough.
Well, the 2-minute report came out, and before I even read it, JB was outraged. Pistons fans were outraged. Jim Costa and John Jansen, not terribly outraged. They were saying, like, hey, you were up by 9. Finish the game. You're grown men. Up by 9 with 3 minutes left to go. Finish that damn game. Justin Termini, our buddy from SiriusXM NBA Radio, we were texting each other at 10:26 yesterday morning, cussing each other out, but I only shared one snippet of that conversation on social media. But after that, he had this video about the non-call.
Can somebody tell me what a foul is? A foul's a foul. A foul took place right in front of Tony Brothers. He's looking at it. That is a series-altering no call because Detroit's not going to come back and win 2 games. They're not going to win on the road in Cleveland to force a Game 7 and then win a Game 7 against a very experienced Cleveland team, even if it's on their home floor. So that is series-altering. That is legacy-altering in a positive way for guys like James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, who advanced to the conference finals with one more victory. If that call happens right in front of you, you have to make that call. A foul is a foul because that altered who wins that game. That altered who wins the series. So that is just a massive, epic fail by Tony Brothers and the officials. But let's be honest. You got to make that call there. Tony Brothers and the officials not making that call. Absolutely brutal.
That's audio courtesy of the Termini Crashes Out podcast. And you can play this for Justin. Of all the dumb things he's ever said, that was the dumbest. And think of the territory that takes in. This is what I love about this. And the 2-minute report came out, and it says that there were no missed calls in the final 2 minutes of that game. And I loved it, and I champions posed it, and I'm sure you were excited about it. I love this, that this is common sense. There's still room for common sense in professional sports. Guys, part of it, and record this for posterity because it will come back and get us at some point. It's professional sports. We're all going to have to take one on the chin at some point. You know that, Tone. But time is evaporating. He's on your side of the floor. He might be able to force up a crazy shot. It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs. And let's call it what it is. It's an entertainment business. What do you think that they would say about the NBA in general? Had that been called and they send Ausar Thompson to the line with 0.7 seconds left, think about the credibility of the league. Seriously, think about the credibility of the league. You take the game out of the players' hands. No, you gave up the 9-point lead. You go win it in overtime now. We're not doing this. And by the way, there were plenty of people saying, well, you look what Ausar Thompson did. He grabbed him by the arm as well. Like, there could have been a foul on that. No missed calls because it's common sense, Tone. And I got to tell you, JB Bickerstaff sounds really weak this morning, hearing all that, reading all that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, specifically, they say that Thompson and Allen legally stepped to the same spot while pursuing the loose ball before either player has possession and both lose their balance from the marginal contact, which is what Tony Brothers said to the pool reporter afterwards. He said, and yeah, we'll get it confirmed when we look at the 2-minute report, which is exactly what happened. And there was some outrage in the hours, after that game. The wrong team won. This was egregious mistake, when all was said and done. And I was glad that, cooler heads have seemed to prevail because as we get further away, I heard Zach Lowe yesterday. He argued with Howard Beck, who we've had on the show, because Howard's like, I think you got to call it. And Zach's like, are we sure?
Of course, Howard Beck thought you had to call it.
But Zach Lowe said, are we sure that Thompson didn't foul him first? Are we sure he even tripped over Allen first? Looked like he tripped on his own foot first. So it seems to me that as we've gotten further away, people have been like, this is very questionable at the very least. And, on the other side of things, could even have been a foul on Detroit. So in the end, you never call this.
Exactly. And I'm not even trying to go over here going, well, maybe it was a foul on Detroit.
No.
I know we bring that up for reference, but it highlights That's why you don't call it. Because it is the playoffs. And I heard Danny Green on Baskin and Phelps says, yeah, maybe in February they call that. I don't even know if February they do. You got a packed house here. It's a big game. It would still be a big game because they're both top 4 seeds in the NBA in the Eastern Conference. So it's probably a game that people are paying attention to. People, you pay money to go watch a guy at the charity stripe at the end of a basketball game.
Had they you've got to go over the inverse. Had they have sent him to the free throw line, that is the story.
Yes.
This was like maybe one of 30 things we talk about. I know there was discussion about an egregious lane violation by James Harden in overtime. Well, they didn't box him out. I mean,
bingo.
Detroit,
thank you. Thank you.
When have I ever seen a lane violation called in the playoffs, and especially in overtime for a shooter? Normally, the shooter's getting boxed out, so there's not even an attempt at a lane violation.
Exactly.
So think about what the inverse would have been. I think in the end, we're not going to look back at this and say that cost Detroit the game of the series.
And think about who it is. If it's any other name that we don't know, I don't know if it's being brought up as much. But because it's Tony Brothers, and because he's a well-known referee, and because I don't put him in Angel Hernandez territory or C.B. Buckner territory or even Joey Crawford territory.
He rates as one of their best officials.
But he's well-known, and people see him on the camera, and when they're going to the table, and he's seen as a bit of a curmudgeon, and he is. It seems to be that way. People don't like him. And so when you see that it's Tony Brothers, people go, oh, here we go. If it's any other guy that you really didn't know about, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because it's him, because it is at the end of a game, and I just think, what if they do call it? What are people saying about the NBA if they do call that? Game of soft, Ben.
Right.
Game
That's
of a
100%.
soft league. What has happened to the game I love?
So Detroit,
you have to protect the league as well as the game if you're a referee, and don't act like we don't know that.
Big bad Detroit, where it's always been about black and blue games when you go to Detroit and the bad boy era. So to hear them talk about the Cavs have been too forceful and too physical in this series, and they're getting away with it, like that is so fresh. You guys won a title. That title that they won over the Lakers, the old Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, and Shaq were dissolving. Like they fouled on every play. That was what they were known for. Sitting courtside at that game were some of the all-time Ben Wallace, some of the great physical all-time defensive players. And you guys wanted that to be a foul. That is fresh coming from that city and that team.
And let me ask you this. Did JB, because that might have been able to fly here. We don't have the type of history that they have. Let's call it what it is. We didn't have Rick Mahorn.
Right.
We didn't have Lambeer and the Bad Boys, okay? Did he forget the team he coaches? Because they pride themselves on that. There's murals all over the city of that type of team.
Kind of felt like it all went out the window with that barrage of complaints afterwards.
You look weak.
Sitting there complaining about officials when you were supposed to be the tough team.
Chuck Daly is rolling in his grave. His hair is still perfect, but he's rolling in his grave.
And thinking about the fact that the whole discussion is one of their tough guys, do they bring him off the bench now in Duren? Like, think about how the tide has swung, and that is why part of the reason the Cavs are now in the great spot of being able to close them out at home.
I totally agree. And I think JB looks really weak this morning. I think he looks really weak and feckless by the complaining that went on at the end of that game. Because I can go at the 2-minute report, and we could say whether we believe it or not, because you always said the 2-minute report doesn't make anybody feel any better. They don't give you the win. Doesn't matter. But it is fun to go over, especially when it went your way. But at the same time, like let's say what it is. It's grown men. You wouldn't have been able to deal with it. There would have been some crazy parent on the floor at a CYO basketball game on a Saturday morning had that call been made. Let alone Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semis.
Think about how things have gotten away from the Pistons, that they're sitting there saying Cavs are too physical, and they wanted lane violations and fouls on incidental contact 70 feet away to gift them a victory. Think about your state of affairs for your former number 1 seed.
Sure as hell killed that narrative. That whole soft narrative. Holy God. Are the Cavs too tough?
Too tough.
216-474.
I'm the bad boy.
90092.
Joey, that's your title for this segment. Are the Cavs too tough?
Are the Cavs too tough?
And make sure it's TOO.
All right, coming up at 8 o'clock was a schedule release, a rude awakening for part of our Cleveland Browns fan base. And it's amazing what a change of jersey does for a guy, because there's a football guy that we all know and love that is not a fan of one of your main players on this Cavs team. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, Game 6 tonight in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. And you might not live downtown. You might live in a suburb. You might have our house, which might be a very, very, very nice house with 2 cats in the yard and all the other things that they say in that song. And you're going, I need new windows to make it an even very, very, very nice house. Wait, very, very, very.
they say. Yep. Style points don't matter. None of that matters. You needed to walk away with the win. You need to find a way to get a win, and to do so while Donovan was knocked out of that game. Obviously, he had a big three. You don't win the game without that big three. That's big time stuff.
And that's the way it was going to have to happen. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
JB Bickerstaff coming off week. Like he doesn't understand the history of the team he coaches. It's a sad day for him. Well, yesterday was a sad day. He's got to pick up the pieces and move on because he's got to avoid being closed out tonight. I do think the Cavs win tonight. We'll get to ageism being real with your Cleveland Browns at 7:22 this morning. Also, we have a market watch for Game 6. You're going to be very interested in this coming up at 7:22. And there is a caveat to the tickets that somebody sent us yesterday. But we're not getting tickets, but if you're getting tickets, there's a caveat to it that we will give you coming up at around 7:22 this morning. 216-474-0092. I do think that JB, in the 2-minute report, I think a lot of common sense has prevailed. I think it's a great day for professional sports after that, where I think that anybody who's been saying that it's a foul and it should have been to the line, I just think you're kind of a busybody. I think you're kind of a Barney Fife. I think that you are... I just don't think you live in the real world. I don't think you do. And guys, someday, if we all do this long enough, the laws of sports, all these comments you will have to answer to because it's going to happen to us. It might happen tonight, may not happen for 5 years, but at some point it's going to happen to us, and I am convinced I will stay the same way. It's the final seconds of a basketball game. I really don't care. I said it was because part of it is the NBA. They are protecting the NBA. I do think that's true. But I think in so many ways, come on. You guys going into work, and it's easy to say this because we're Cavs fans for the most part. But you know this. You're getting ready. You're getting in your truck, getting in your car. You're going into work. You know damn well if you play pickup basketball, you watch basketball, you've been a fan of basketball, you know as a man, you're going to put a guy at the line in the final seconds of a basketball. With less than 1 second in a basketball game, you're going to put him at the line to shoot free throws to win the game. Of the fighting that's gone on,
you know what?
The strategy that's gone on, we're going to do a simple questionable foul. Like if he would have went up there and slugged him, like, yeah, put him on the line. We got to do what we got to do. Of that, we know better.
It's the equivalent of in the Super Bowl, or I guess I should say Super Bowl.
We're American men. We know better.
In a playoff NFL game, calling pass interference on a Hail Mary. That's what it is.
Exactly.
And when do we ever do that?
We don't.
Even guys get mauled. We don't call
it. They do. People make the videos all the time. A guy's basically getting choked out in the end zone, and nobody, because you don't call it. You don't call it because it's silly. And if you did, I think, honestly, if Tony Brothers or anybody would have blown the whistle, how do you get out of that? Do you just say it wasn't a foul? Like you probably go, oh, God, I've made a terrible mistake. I think that they would do that in Senate League basketball, let alone the NBA. And so to hear him complain, hey, it's therapeutic for me. My team's up 3-2, and my team looks tougher than yours now. And my team, yeah, there's been tough guys who played for the Cavs, but my team doesn't have a whole documentary made about punching people in the face like the Detroit Pistons do. I'm feeling real good as a Cavs fan right now. 216-474-0092. I want to get to James Harden here in just a moment. Let me get to Denise in Cleveland. She is first up on the fan. Hello, Denise.
Good morning.
Morning to you, Denise. Go right on ahead.
Listen, I'm a Cavs fan through and through. I think I'm one of the few people here in Cleveland that love the Cavs over the Browns. So I'm going to always be here to, put it down for my Cavs. First of all, Bickerstaff was here, so we know him. We know that he can't win the game. That's why we chose to go in a different direction. He always have had the propensity to blame everything outside of him except he never says what he's done wrong. Your team blew a 9-point lead.
I think
at the end of the game.
I'm sorry, Denise. You broke up there for a second. Let me go back with the JB stuff. I do think that JB is a good coach. I think he's a good builder. I think that it's been a couple times over with the Cavs. He didn't really get a chance the first time around in his previous stop before that, and now you have it here with Detroit. I can't help but agree with you because you've been to the postseason now.
To me, he's a good in-season coach. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the big games, he always finds a way to coach himself out of it. Explain how your team blew a 9-point lead with basically 2 minutes to go. That's not the refs. That's you. And you need to accept responsibility instead of being on TV whining like a baby because somebody didn't bring me my ball. Boy, get over it.
Denise, thank you very much for the call. I think I'll take it even one step further, not even being mean-spirited about it. I think he gets lost in the moment. I think he gets lost in the emotions of it. And
he's turned into the boy who cried wolf.
Part of his job, I understand, is playing a bad guy to the refs and going after the refs for calls. Somehow, it's just the way it goes. I've never understood it. But I think he gets bogged down with the minutia of the refs and doesn't focus on the situation. Again, with the blown timeout the other night with him. And you still had Kenny with his timeouts to the point where we were critical of him for not using the one timeout at the end. And he answered that question.
Yeah.
But he misses on those type of things, and we've seen that before.
I would also say, like, the smart ball knowers, Kenny, have started to break down the profile of the players. And so what do we know about Donovan Mitchell? He has had monstrous free throw games in the playoffs. James Harden, his whole career. And that's certainly, we shine a light on that because it's controversial, and for good reason. A lot of it is controversial, whether or not he gets the 50-50 landing area call. But you go to the other side, and it's a Detroit team with, when they are going right, what is it? It's Tobias Harris, turnaround jump shot, off balance.
Yep.
Karis LeVert, off balance, turnarounds. Cade Cunningham is somebody who plays a little bit more power, but he also settles for a lot of mid-range game. And what do we know about the mid-range game in the NBA? Not conducive to getting to the free throw line. So you start to examine the profile, and it actually, as you take a broader view of things, kind of makes sense. Yeah, the Cavs would be a team. Oh, you want to add another dimension? What is Detroit? What were they the leaders in the NBA this year? Fouling. They fouled the most of any team in the NBA. So it creates this perfect storm of a free throw discrepancy over time that actually is fairly logical.
I wonder if they come out tonight and they try to do what we've tried to do to them, which I wonder if they try to play really hard in the paint, kind of damn the torpedoes, drive, because Donovan was settling for too much, and then in game 4 he said, listen, I got to do this. I have to drive the lane. I have to try to play the inside-out stuff. That's what I'm going to have to do. James Harden took it to a different level, and I wanted to bring up James Harden here because I want to get to Louis Riddick, of all people, his tweets coming up here in a moment. Danny Green, though, former Cavalier, he was on Baskin and Phelps yesterday. He was talking about James Harden and kind of the difference that he makes with this Cleveland Cavaliers team and how good of a fit he actually is.
I think James is a great fit for this team if he plays the way we know he's capable of. That's the only issue, right? People have issue with him that his production, his aggressiveness drops in the playoffs. Biggest thing for me is just, if you just play solid and don't turn the ball over, that'll give your team a plus. Like, I don't expect him to do much at this point. I mean, a lot of people don't. But I think he's a really good fit. As you can see, like, when he's playing well and those other guys thrive, it opens up the floor for Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. They get easy baskets, easy dunks. He also can score, but he's a great facilitator. He's one of very few guys that will adjust his game from being an elite scorer to an elite point guard passer and being a system. So I think he's a great fit and allow Don to be off the ball some and also not exert as much energy.
So that's a basketball guy. That's a former player. You hear a lot of that about James Harden from former players. Louis Riddick was a former football player who clearly has, I sent you guys that clip when I was on the boat. He clearly has an interest in the NBA, in the game. And he was watching that game. He's a former Cleveland Brown, former general manager. This is read what Louis Riddick was writing the other night about James Harden.
Yes, that Harden's flopping around on the ground like that after trying to con the refs into calling a foul is such an effing joke. It's so bad, Riddick.
Did he write the actual word?
EFFING.
Okay.
Look,
there are people keep sending us the clip of the guy from the Rockets ripping on James Harden. At least they kept doing it when after the first 2 games of this series where it looked like he couldn't play the game of basketball anymore. There is a hate that people watch with him.
Oh, yeah.
And they want the Cavaliers to lose. And you used to hate watching.
I used to be, up until a trade in February, I was on board with that hatred. And it sucks. Like, it's a really, really tough aspect of the game. You got to harken back to the Zaza Pachulia play that led to all this with Kawhi Leonard and took Kawhi out of a series and ended the San Antonio Spurs' chances at continuing on with their greatness. And it was a very, very, and it's a delicate issue in the NBA because shooters, with all the injuries that happened, they tried to protect the shooters. So the theory is, all right, the shooters have a shooting motion when they go up in the air. Some go a little more forward. Mark Price would have feasted in this day and age. Mark Price would jump about a foot ahead of himself. And so the landing area is a tough thing to, try to litigate on a play-by-play basis. And there's no doubt James Harden has made a career over having that area and exaggerating the landing spot. The flip side of this is, on no planet is Detroit telling Tobias Harris anything other than be careful about the landing area. And there's one thing he has not done in this series is he's not been careful. He's been almost brain dead around the landing area. Like, you're guarding James Harden. James is not a speedster. You're Tobias Harris and you've got that length. Most likely they are coaching him to, hey, make sure the last thing you do is fumble over your closeout and be awkward in that area, in your technique. And yet, James Harden's really good at getting guys to hover around him, having guys think that they can take the ball from him, and then when you least expect it, he's going to go up for the jumper, and then you're in his landing area. I mean, James Harden has been on the ground like 15 times in this series.
I think this explains the entire James Harden experience since he left Oklahoma City. He was the third guy on that team, and he was so much fun, and you saw this player that blossom into an MVP caliber player, and people love that team. People love that Oklahoma City team. Durant, I was the biggest Russell Westbrook fan that you had known at that time. Remember, we talked about it. We had everything there, and it got broken up. And ever since then, James Harden has kind of been like, I'm not going to be in the Daryl Morey stuff. Ever since really Daryl Morey, he's like, I'm not going to be messing around with any of these teams anymore. I'm not trusting any of these teams anymore. And when you watch James Harden play for your team, you absolutely love it. And then it always ends ugly, and you hate James Harden more than you ever thought you could hate a basketball player in your entire life. Because him playing for you, when people watch him, it's one of the most frustrating things ever. But when he's going to the line for you, when he's doing some of the things he does for you, it's some of the most fun because you're winning the basketball games and you know it's upsetting people more than they can even believe that you're winning the basketball game against them. And then, obviously, he gets a little bit upset with management and things go the way they go. That is the entire James Harden experience. I'm living through the good part of it right now. At some point, we'll probably get to the bad part, hopefully later than earlier. But, yeah, it is one of those quintessential Jack Parkman change of a jersey. What does it do for a guy? And here we are, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And thank God the first two games, instead of the last few games, he's been fantastic, and he wasted the bad games at the beginning of the series when we were figuring out the Detroit Pistons. At 8 o'clock, was the schedule a rude awakening for part of the Browns fan base out there? The ones that are just dropping in, wink, wink. And ageism is real with your Cleveland Browns, and I think we got a market watch coming up. Folks, you are not going to believe the caveat with these ticket prices and the ticket prices themselves for Game 6. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on the Fan. American Platinum Door and Gate.
And to add to the fun, all the lanes are closed on I-76 northbound beyond Denison because of bridge repairs. Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland Traffic.
In your weeknight with the best segments of the day. The Fan Rewind. Weeknights at 11.
Cavs, Pistons, Game 6 tonight, Eastern Conference semis, and Lima has been paying attention to the market. To the market.
My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now.
What's it cost to get in this place, Tone?
What a turn of events.
What's it cost?
I think the malaise is officially over here in town.
Might be a great thing for Cavs fans.
Well, I guess not if you were hoping to save money by going to the game, but the get-in price has skyrocketed up to essentially, depending on where you shop it, $200 to get in the door for tonight's potential elimination game. Game 6 against Detroit. Obviously, we all are hoping the Cavs can end the Pistons season and clinch that spot in the Eastern Conference Finals. We've got to, at some point in the show, talk about how, the next time we come on the air on Monday, we're either talking about the Cavs being eliminated, the Cavs moving on, or the Cavs already either up one game or down one game in the Eastern Conference Finals because they play Sunday.
I hate this. I'm going to be excited because if I'm doing predictions, you're playing 3 games in 5 days.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing 3 games in 5 days, I think they're going to close out the Pistons tonight. I know you're going to get Market Watch real quick. I think they're going to they're going to beat the Pistons tonight, and then we play on Sunday against the Knicks, correct?
Then you would play Sunday against the Knicks if you win.
That was confirmed with our boss. We might not get a chance to really celebrate because we might be coming back on Monday down 0-1.
There would be no Knicks preview at all. There will be this weekend on our station. Our show will not be able to participate.
Well, make sure you listen to Daryl and Padone and Atlant and Johnny and listen to those guys because they're going to get you in. Go ahead.
I'll call from the marathon or the 5 and 10K this weekend. So the prices have gone all the way up, like I said, $200. That is a substantial increase, Kenny. How much of an increase is it? Thank you for asking.
Tell me.
239%. From
That's nice.
Game 4 in Cleveland. So
nice.
The tickets were basically regular season prices in a Toronto series and throughout the first 2 games of this series. But things are a-changing because, A, it's perfect storm. It's a Friday night.
Yes.
Right? The weather is starting to turn. Like I said, if they end up winning and then
41 degrees outside right now.
Yeah, but it is turning because it's going to be Sunday high of 86. I think I saw, but the Knicks, nice. I'm already seeing, if you're looking ahead, I'm not trying to jinx it, but if you're a Clevelander in New York or you wanted to go on a trip this week to go see at MSG, the get-in price is $600. And I'm being told it will be NBA Finals prices for Cleveland if we get the Knicks and, we advance and Game 3 would be here.
I'm glad you brought this up because a listener of ours who's going under Cavs playoff push on social media, CLE Sports Guy.
The push.
He sent to us a screenshot here. Now, this is probably a normal thing, maybe, I'm guessing, but I've never noticed it before. I don't think he's ever noticed it before, so he sent it. It said, notice to purchasers. Rocket Arena is located in Cleveland, Ohio. The Cleveland Cavaliers are restricting box office ticket sales to customers located in certain parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York, determined by the Cavaliers and subject to change. Residency will be based on credit card billing address. Orders by customers with a billing address outside the sales area will be canceled without notice and refunds given. So they will get their money back. So if you're a Cavaliers fan who lives in Sylvania, Ohio, you might have to prove you're a Cavs fan if you are a Cavs fan.
Well, but didn't it also say New York?
It says New York because...
Well, because Knicks fans, let's be honest, the lower bowl of an Eastern Conference Finals with the Knicks involved, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing for the Knicks. We've been here, done that, and they're going to come with their cash ready to roll. And I think, as we know, 2016 Game 7 of the World Series, we will sell if it gets ridiculous.
This may be a catch-all for everything because if you got coming up next week, you don't even have to change it. Pennsylvania, I don't understand. There's a lot of Cavs fans in Western Pennsylvania.
Am I reading this wrong based on what you said? Is this more to keep out certain brokers than it is Knicks fans?
I was thinking it was to keep out Pistons because we sent Cavs fans up there.
Oh, I was.
And
Yeah,
I wonder
I
if
was
it's to keep
forward.
out Pistons fans, and I wonder if it's to keep out Knicks fans as a preemptive strike in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, you could do all that you want to do. It's going to be that lower bowl. That courtside is going to be all Knicks. It's going to be all celebrities. Like Ben Stiller. I'm watching Marty Supreme. So Timothy Chalamet and is it Kendall Jenner?
Now,
which of the Jenner Kardashians?
I'm not trying to be mean. I don't know. There's a billion of them. Robert Kardashian he died, right?
Who was the one we had on the air?
No, is he passed to which one?
Who's the one we had on the air?
The guy who defended, or the friend of
We had
OJ,
F. Lee
who she
Bailey.
sat
Robert
with.
Kardashian is dead.
Okay.
Do we have F. Lee Bailey's grandkids going to this
F. Lee
game?
Bailey just passed away.
Yeah.
He was a guest on the show. Great guest on the show.
But either way, it's going to be all Knicks fans courtside. Like, there's nothing you can do to stop that if we go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Robert Kardashian defended OJ, and she sat next to now Caitlyn Jenner.
Yes.
That's right. That's how that all went.
The Menendez brothers will not be attending. They couldn't get out.
They had a chance, and then apparently they're not gonna let them do that. So if you are a celebrity, there's no LeBron here anymore. Like people came here to see LeBron. This is a really good basketball team, but there is LeBron's an icon. If you're Ben Stiller or who are these people you're saying?
Well, Tracy Morgan, maybe Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David.
Do you go to the road game, or do you have to make sure you're at MSG to prove your A-list?
Well, so the Philadelphia thing was easy for them because they can get to Philly.
Did they go to Philly?
No, yes,
okay,
they
well,
did.
if they went to Philly, I'm
yes,
sure they can get private jets and come here.
The whole lower bowl in Philly was
they haven't
all
shut down Burke yet.
Was all Knicks fans. The difference was New York fans live right there. There aren't a ton of Knicks fans that live here, so they'd actually have
you'll
to,
hear them if they win on Sunday.
They actually have
tonight.
to fly here.
You will hear them.
They actually do have to fly here and get here whatever which way they do. Like in Philly, they could take their whatever elevated transportation to get there, or their private jets, which of course they obviously still do that here. It's going to be a ton of Knicks fans, especially because the Cavs fans hadn't bought in all year, and I do think they'd gladly take New Yorkers' money on this team.
I want you to find out
if we won in New York
next
at
week,
MSG, if we advance.
John, write it down. I want to find out what lower bowl ticket prices start at, because I don't want to turn this into the Cubs in 2016. Because if someone's offering you $10,000 to sit in the 400, what are you going to do? So I need to know a minimum price for a Cavs fan to give up his ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals to a Knicks fan. Everybody has a price, in the words of Ted DiBiase. So I'm not going to rip you, but it has to be taken into account here. Josh Norris, he was on Afternoon Drive yesterday. We've had him on the station many times, been on the show before, director of content, Underdog Fantasy. This is interesting. They're getting ready to release the schedule yesterday afternoon. He's pretty high on the Browns. He loves Casey Concepcion. He also says Todd Monken would be more hyped if he was just this.
I think if Todd Monken was, 20 years younger, he'd be getting a ton of not just interest, but publicity as one of the more forward-thinking minds out there in terms of his play calling. I mean, what we saw this year, and I think Jacksonville's a good example of this, overdrafting tight ends, trying to chase this 12 and 13 personnel looks to force defenses into base so you can either run or pass on them and force certain coverages and personnel groupings out there. Todd Monken's been doing this for years, And I just love the identity that he brings, the way he speaks, how he already has command and knows exactly what he wants offensively. And I think that really bears out with immediately selecting, 2 wide receivers in round 1 and round 2, really in his image and how he wants that room to look.
I think he's right. I really think he's right. At 60 years old, at a lot of the different conversations about Todd Monken, maybe you disagree. I think he would be a lot more hyped as an offensive head coach if he were 20 years younger. Say he would have been on because he's of an age where you had to really you started out making copies, you started out getting gas for people and things like that, and then he had to work his way up. Like a lot of guys, it's different now, so they are kind of fast tracked to it. It's different to a way. Like some guys, they still got to go out the hard way and do it, and nothing like that. But there's guys who. When you got Sean McVay, who's getting it at 30 years old, a lot of owners start to think, maybe I need to think a little bit different. So guys are getting jobs in their 30s now, like they would not back in the day. And so if you're Todd Monken, I'm sure there's a bit of a chip on the shoulder, but that's beside the point. I think with with general excitement, we all want younger coaches. We all talk about younger coaches. We all get excited for them. And if Todd Monken were 40 years old, I think a lot more people would be excited for them and what he could bring to the offense.
What's the lineage, too? Where's he coming from at 40 to be on that fast track?
He was already with the Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay.
Say he was already with the Ravens.
Oh, then you wouldn't even have gotten him. Kenny, you wouldn't have gotten him. Like, if that were the case, if he was that...
Well, you got Kevin. Kevin was kind of on a...
But rising star, was Kevin...
A lot of people loved Kevin.
He was liked. He was not the rising star. It was debatable.
Yeah, you're
like,
right.
Was he the brains? Was he the architect there? And Monken, if he was a rising star and won a national championship with that quarterback, right? What Stetson Bennett in Georgia, and then moving on to Lamar, you're not getting him. Like, the Browns are just not getting him.
I also think with the schedule release, it would come out and I think a lot of people would feel differently about it, and I think they'd be feeling differently about how the Browns go. Like, if they would have hired Nate Scheelhaase, I could definitely see them going, all right, we're packing it in for 2026. We're looking forward to 2027. It's like, hey, he doesn't know if he's never going to be a head coach again. He's 60. Like, this is one chance to be a head coach in the NFL. So he's not going to fiddle around for 1 year, let our ducks get into a row where we can draft some quarterback that's in college right now and then take off with it. He's not stupid. So they're going to try to win football games. I think it may have changed if he were a much younger guy. It might have changed the trajectory of what they were going to do this offseason to a certain degree. Talking about trading you-know-who, talking about starting you-know-who, all those other things. Like, if you had a 35-year-old head coach, Tone, would it or would it not make it more likely, like, hey, this is Shedeur's job no matter what? We're going with the young guys. It's a youth movement now. They've done it like that before. Can't say they would ever do it again. But it would look more likely like they would go with youth and they would go and take the losses this year and move forward.
So you're saying if it was Ben Johnson, let's just what's the equivalent of a young
Ben Johnson, 38,
like a young hotshot OC? Are you saying that he would not pick the best quarterback? He would just go with the one that's younger?
No, but I think that he could see. I think right now, when you go to a desperation and you're desperate because you're sick, desperate's a strong word. When you're up against it with life in your career, you're going to tend to go more towards the veteran. You're going to tend to go more towards making your own decision, your own stronger decision. But if you're a younger guy, Ben Johnson's different. He took over with a number 1 overall pick. That's a totally different set of circumstances for me. Because you're right. If he were Ben Johnson's age, he would have had the pick of the litter. Ben Johnson turned down 2 jobs before he went and took the Bears job. So that's true. You're right about that. But I'm saying in Todd's mind, he's looking at it going, I got one chance to do this. There's no waiting around.
Yeah,
he does not give a damn about Lenore Sellers or Arch Manning or anybody. He's going with what he has right now.
Here's the
and
caveat,
this is the schedule he's going to play, and he's going to try to win.
Normally, the veteran is the more considered limited quarterback. In this case, according to the boots on the ground, they're saying, no, Deshaun Watson is back to Deshaun Watson in terms of his physicals. And the veteran has the edge over the younger guy who was only drafted in the 5th round.
Because the veteran, and if I think you might be thinking like Kirk Cousins right now.
That's exactly
Kirk
what I'm thinking
Cousins
of.
at the end of the line.
That was literally the guy that came to my
Deshaun Watson
mind.
is still 30 years old. He's just had a litany of injuries and all the other stuff. Like, if Kirk Cousins was still 30, Kirk Cousins would be the starter. Kirk Cousins would be the guy. But he's not 30, he's older. So Deshaun is approaching 30. He might be still 29 for all I know. Deshaun Watson is approaching 30 or 30 years old. He's still technically in his physical prime. So that makes sense. I don't agree with that, what you just said about Kirk Cousins. I think it's a different set of circumstances here. I think it would be easier to go more towards Shedeur, given the baggage that Deshaun Watson has, if you had a 30-plus-year-old head coach.
Now, would it be if Monken's already got face-to-face with these guys, not Miles, but the quarterbacks he's gotten face-to-face with, does it matter the grasp of the offense? Because that's something that we said inherently was going to be a big advantage for Watson.
It should, but we've seen in many circumstances before, and I don't want to compare it all the time because that's probably wrong to do, but we've seen in many circumstances before it hasn't mattered. And we've seen that with a couple of different quarterbacks. Hugh was adamant that Baker Mayfield did not have the proper grasp of the offense.
Yeah.
He was adamant.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if it does matter as much as we think it does, but it is much easier to make an argument to go with a younger guy as a quarterback, as the second-year quarterback, with a 35-year-old head coach than it is a guy who's 60 who will probably not get another chance to be a head coach again in this league. 216-474-0092. Darryl Ryder coming up at 8:20. I want to ask him that conversation, ask him that question. Also at 8 o'clock, Only one primetime game. What's the league think of one of your favorite players on this football team? All that, and I don't know if it makes him Samson, but it's definitely something to pay attention to with Trevor Lawrence's hair. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work in the free Odyssey app. Friends, Ken Carman.
Cleveland fans turn to talk Cavs basketball. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
I really don't give a I mean, it had nothing to do with me. I mean, they moved the meeting. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
How it is when you win in Cleveland, man. They love you. When you lose, it's the way it should be.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. He couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
That sounds really good, but I'm not 6'5", and I don't have the athletic ability to play in the NBA.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Everybody can hear me. The mics are on. Go ahead.
Oh, God. Trevor Lawrence lost his aura yesterday. Lima, have you seen it yet? I know Ken saw it this morning.
I've never seen his hair. I've never seen his hair yet. I haven't seen his hair yet.
You have not seen Trevor Lawrence's hair. He lost all of his aura. The Jags are going to go 4-13 this year because Trevor Lawrence cut his gorgeous, perfect hair.
He wasn't that impressive with the hair.
It was glorious.
Is this AI?
No, it's real.
The hell is this?
It's real. Trevor Lawrence.
Did he do it for charity? He had to have done it for charity or something.
I think he probably. It was just on the Jags social media page.
Oh, wait a second. Did he only cut just the length? It's still the same hairstyle?
No.
Okay, I'm looking at a different video then because
it's a whole.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
This looks fake.
Let me see.
Yeah, this does not look real.
No, they posted a whole video of him cutting his hair.
That ain't his hair. I don't believe it.
This looks like he put on a wig.
It's a different color.
And he cut it, and this is just a gag to get everybody thinking he actually cut his hair, and he really didn't.
Hey,
let's hope so.
I don't believe it.
But
that's fake hair.
Well, you know what? It's a week 1 win for the Browns because Trevor Lawrence cut his hair.
Wow.
He looks even more like a sim.
I wondered if his hair was holding
play
him
that
back.
game? I got a funny story about the Sims off here.
Oh, God.
Kayla, you'll laugh at it. You'll laugh your ass off at it.
How good is Trevor Lawrence? Do we think he's good?
He's good. It's just I think he's one of those QB purgatory. I think he's one of those purgatory guys.
Is he a top 10 quarterback?
No. The second he went to the Jags, his career was going down.
The quick.
No, the second he went to the Jags, his career was going down the tubes.
He did throw for 4,000 yards last year.
That doesn't mean anything. Yards doesn't mean anything.
They did go to the playoffs.
13-4 last year.
They were 13-4?
Yeah.
Holy potatoes.
Trust me, we were monitoring every week because of the draft.
Yeah, but I forgot. I've been drinking since then, man. He was pretty rough there for a minute.
Are we being disrespected 7.5 point underdogs for week 1?
With the hair, yeah.
Are the Browns being disrespected?
Big time. I think so.
Disrespected?
Yes.
We're not that good.
Well, you said
they were 13-4 last year. I said 7-10.
You said 7-10, which is basically 10-7 if a few plays go your way.
People love Liam Cohen. Okay? We don't know what Todd Monken's going to do. What was the first game with Kevin Stefanski? We got blown out like 37-7. And that ended up being a pretty good run after that, but we got blown out 37-7. I think it's a fair spread. She does. Wow, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
The schedule release videos were the talk of the town last night on Twitter after the NFL. How the heck did the NFL allow these teams to start posting about Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel?
Wait a second. Oh, that's pretty good. Guy from Mad TV. Kenny just showed me a picture. Stewart. That's it.
Tim, our listener, says a picture of Stewart from Mad TV.
What was your question again?
How are the NFL teams allowed to make Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel references? Like,
wait, it did happen?
Yes.
Well, this show will never go there. Their families.
This show was there like 3 times this morning.
There are I don't remember that. Their families
involved. I don't take it there.
It's kind of disgusting to use that for your cheap jokes. We would never go that direction. So shame on the NFL teams. Who did it?
And the Vikings definitely did. So they put, they made the Vikings had they brought out food, like a 17-course dinner.
Okay.
And they have the Patriots, and they said they were cookies, and they put on the recipe sheet said Rossini juice.
Oh, come on.
Jeez.
It's a little tasteless, I would say.
Yeah, no.
Rossini juice?
And honestly, if you go look at all these ones, I think the Browns might have had the worst schedule release video.
Oh, listen to the Philly fan here.
I think it might be the worst one. You got to go look at the Broncos.
Just because you don't know Street Fighter.
John Hughes over here. All right. Why? Why was it so bad?
I don't think it was that the Browns were so bad. I think the other teams around the league were so good. The Broncos had Peyton Manning flipping through channels. The Chiefs had a QVC, the 90s QVC. The Titans went up to random
The Titans
people.
spent no money, which is great.
And it was the best one.
Yeah, it was
the best one.
So always less is more when it comes to this stuff, honestly.
It hit me in the feels where he said, when he goes the bonus round and he said that, I go, boy, this is going to be memed into oblivion this season. It is going to be unbelievable. However, it got me because I actually beat Street Fighter once at Eastbury Lanes back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah. That's when your parents bowl and I'm too young to smoke. I had to figure out something to do. And the arcade version was there, and Dad just didn't care. Mom really didn't care. She'd give me whatever. He did not care. And so I played the game and beat the game. One of the top 3 accomplishments of my life. And I have 3 kids, so it beat one of them. And it's up to them to figure it out. Go ahead, John.
Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, he signed his rookie contract yesterday. Only one of the Browns draft picks hasn't signed, and that is Casey Concepcion.
Oh, boy. Not a true Cleveland Brown? Is that what you're saying,
so
John?
He's throwing out the first pick at the Guardians game. He's pulling the sword.
Does Todd Monken need to issue an ultimatum and say, get here or else?
I'm just saying,
next OTA is what, on the 20th? Starts on the 20th?
I think so.
They have ruined, have they not, Kenny?
They'll get it signed.
They've ruined the drama. Like, you would think the NFL would love to harken back to the days of having this be a topic, day one, A1. The player's not signed. Well, it doesn't matter.
The entertainment people would.
Like, we already know exactly what they're going to get. So there's some language in the contract, but that stuff it's not in our
blame
purview.
Kevin Mawai. Had to have that rookie wage scale, and all it did was take away jobs from veterans. That's all it did.
Yeah, it did.
That's all it did.
And that's it for about last night?
I'm still shaking my head over it. I'm sorry. John, you did a great job, my friend. Outstanding. Outstanding. And that is about last night, as John just said. Daryl Ryder going to join us at 8:20 this morning. Got something spicy for everybody. You ready here? Somebody in the room thought of this. I'll let you guess who it is over the next 5 minutes. Only one primetime game. Is the league trying to tell primetime what they think of his son? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan. Fred.
segments from all our shows, and you can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline Sports News every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Catch Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin live on YouTube each and every weekday from 2 to 7 p.m.
Game 6 tonight. Cavs are going to close out the Pistons. I say yes. Tone.
Ooh.
I'll just answer the question.
I hope Varden's story yesterday is a little tidbit about a sickness that had
The
been
stomach
rolling
bug
through
that's
the
going
locker
through?
room. I hope that that's not a real thing, because it needs to be all hands on
Well, how's
deck.
that not a real thing if Varden wrote about it? He's not going to put something fake out there.
I hope, let's say, they are exaggerating.
Yeah.
Maybe to...
They made it out that Sam Merrill was like the ultimate warrior when Papa Shango got a hold of him.
I know. So I hope that's not the case. Obviously, the crowd tonight will be in elimination mode. Like, let's get rid of the Pistons. But I just haven't seen much of a gap between the two teams. So it's hard for me to just come in and say, we've solved the Pistons, we're going to win. Like, I don't know that that's the case. They threw a wrinkle at the end of Game 5 with the doubling of Cade, but can you do that from minute one?
No,
I kind of feel
don't think you can.
I kind of feel like that could get their role players going.
Yeah.
So I'd be nervous about that.
I think you're right. I think you might be able to do it late in the game if you want to double him again, because you don't want Karis LeVert. He's going to shoot you out of more game. I forget who we had on, but he said it best. This guest that I don't remember said it best. He's going to shoot you out of more games, and he's going to win for you. I think that was probably Danny who said that earlier this week. It's all mixing together. But you don't want to get... Is Duncan Robinson going to give her a go tonight?
I can't fathom him missing 2 games because of this.
His back must be really messed up if he's going to miss a possible Game 6 closeout. But you don't want to get either of those guys going. So I would probably keep it the way it is, and then second half, fourth quarter, if you're trying to close them out and you want to double Cade, go ahead and double Cade. I'm not pointing out that I think they're going to win the game by 20 or anything like that. I'd be shocked. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think they're going to win it. It's at home. They just play with a different confidence at home. They play better at home. Yes, the stomach bug is something that we need to monitor here. But I still think they're going to win at home because of all those reasons that I've pointed out here over the time. And we'll ask Jason Lloyd about those reasons coming up at 9 o'clock right after we give away the code word for the possibility for you to go to the Berea Rib Fun Pack giveaway, and you can go to the Berea Rib Cook-Off and Beer Fest. It's going to be a great time for everybody.
It feels like if Donovan Mitchell can just be his normal self, not even legendary, not even superstar, if he could just be normal, I think they should win the game. But it's been hard for him. It's been really hard for him in this series, especially when he's matched up against Thompson.
Schedule came out yesterday. It is all 1 o'clock games except for the Thursday night game on October 1st against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. Everything else is 1 o'clock. The floor is yours, Tone.
Yeah, so
the floor is yours.
I wondered if we'd get any window, because I remember there were a bunch of Shedeur fans on YouTube saying, you'll watch the NFL, you'll know he's starting because the NFL is going to give the Browns primetime games. And look,
I haven't been on our YouTube in quite a while, so I haven't seen that.
Well, remember, there were articles written, and I agreed with them, that part of the reason the draft plummeted in ratings this year, did you hear me? An NFL event plummeted in ratings. You only hear about it when the NBA does it.
There's no zeal to it.
Was that there was no Shedeur Sanders. The Shedeur Sanders effect. Where's he going to get drafted? When's he going to get drafted? Was it the league conspiring against him? Storylines. Let's bring in Mel Kiper. Let's talk about this. I mean, that was the majority of that draft a couple of years ago. You didn't have that this year. So I agreed. I thought the draft ratings went down because there was not the equivalent this year. And they were telling me that you'll see he's going to be the starting quarterback and he's going to be the guy because the Browns are going to get primetime games this year because of it, especially because he has a huge fan base in Texas. So they don't want the games starting that early. And sure enough, the schedule comes out and they only got the one primetime game, which I think every team has to have a primetime game. Every other game's at 1 o'clock. It seems like the league did not factor in the Shedeur Sanders appeal in any of this. And I wondered if that was a rude awakening to his either popularity or what the NFL thinks of him. Maybe the NFL doesn't think he's going to start. Maybe they don't think he's going to be the guy. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe had he have been the guy, the odds-on favorite, then they would have featured them more.
Do they really take that into account? Do they really take that into account?
NFL?
That if they think he's going to start or not start?
Like just promoting their most famous players?
I understand that.
And featuring them in their bigger games?
Okay, because wait a minute. I took you as if they're not sure he's going to start, like they don't want to feature Deshaun Watson in primetime. Not going to want to do that.
What I'm saying is it's either one or the other, right? It's either they don't think he's as popular or they don't think he's going to
I just don't think they think the team's going to be that good, and they weren't that good last year, and he is still and people are going to get mad, but they're giving you proof he's not a number 1 overall pick. The Browns went 7-8. Then they had a number 1 overall pick play during that 7-8 season, and then they had a bunch of games that were primetime.
Although Cam Ward was the number 1 overall pick, and they're not featuring much of him either. Mendoza, number 1 pick
Baker
this year.
did show more promise, and this is only the first year of Mendoza, and you don't even know if he's starting. So that's another part of it.
Well, that's true.
Baker showed more promise throughout that rookie year than what Cam Ward just did. But that does go into effect.
And we got Myles Garrett, too.
There is no doubt. There is no doubt. There is part of Shedeur's fan base that is overzealous and will be upset about it and then say you're lying about what you're saying. That's part of it, okay?
They were the ones that told me, though, that they'd get primetime games because of him.
Okay, but I'm not going to sit there and talk to one corner of one part of the fan base all the time. Again, I'm not trying to narrowcast. I'm talking to all Browns fans. And I think that all Browns fans know that the NFL does not think very much of the football team because I don't think a lot of Browns fans think that much of the football team. There's a couple of people who are willing to say 10-7, but these are fans. Like, I'm excited about them, and I want them to do well. And right now I'm going 7-10, 7-10. That the beginning of that schedule being on the road so much, that's pretty tough. I saw from somebody there's like a 45-day break in between home games at one point at the beginning of the year. That's all tough. We don't know who our quarterback's really going to be. And we're hearing so many reports about who it could be that none of us want it to be. Okay, that plays into it. I got a bunch of free agents and a rookie on my offensive line, possibly 2 rookies on my offensive line. That is a little bit makes you a little bit nervous. You got 2 rookie wide receivers over your guy that you have in Jerry Jeudy. That makes you a little bit nervous. Defense is fine. Your defense was fine over the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. You won 8 games total. So the league's telling you, if you had it once before, a lot of people want the Browns to win. A lot of people like the Browns. So many ways, I hate to say it outside, they felt like that in the 2023 season, in the 2020 season, it felt to me, especially 2020, like they were like a lovable losers type of thing. And here we go. The Browns are back. This once great team. Seemed that a lot of people want them to do well. They have a strong fan base. But I'm not going to take this as an indictment on anybody but the overall team that you got only 1 o'clock games. And yeah, you got Myles Garrett. But Myles Garrett is going to what? Try to break his own record? Okay. But that doesn't really move the needle for them. Quarterbacks are going to move the needles. Great records beforehand are going to move the needles. Proven coaches with great records and trophies in the case are going to move the needle. We don't move anything right now. And that's okay. I'm fine with them going out and earning primetime games because I don't hate all primetime games. I just hate Sunday Night Football. That's the only thing I don't like them playing.
Flex scheduling, and now, I didn't know this. Has this always been the case where there is also a flexing in weeks 5 through 10 that is available through NFL's discretionary policies?
The paragraph is so long. I mean, it looks like you're buying a new cell phone. Yeah, there's definitely ways that they can move it around if they do well.
So they can earn it, yes.
Yeah, but I think how many Browns fans out there are really looking at the schedule going, 11-6? Not many. Not many. You said 6-11. I said 7-10. And I think a lot of Browns fans are like, yeah, that's about it. And then they're probably mad. Some are probably happy because you're getting better, or they're probably a little bit upset because now you're kind of in the middle of who you're going to be able to get a quarterback, what you're going to be able to do in the draft. Like, that's where I think it is. Is it a rude awakening for some of the fans?
Like, yeah, I was told that, hey, when he starts games for you, it's going to be sellouts. You're going to be, the cover of every magazine, 60 Minutes, like he was at Colorado. And the stadium was empty, like, at the end of the year. I know it was a losing team, but there was no...
Well, they blame the weather.
Sure, it
on
was
that
bad.
One AI video that someone made of us. I was like, no, plenty of people come out when the weather's bad.
But there was no Shedeur effect, at least. It wasn't some addition to the economy, like LeBron James when he was here.
I hate, he took over a program. His father took over a program, and then he was obviously the biggest part of it. Like, I'll defend what he did in college to the hilt. You were still in a P4.
Yeah, absolutely.
You took over, guys, one of the historically bad programs at 1-11. I think that they were the worst team in P4 and one of the worst teams in college football, to be frank with you. What they did at Colorado, I don't give a damn about how any of this ends or where it goes or anything. I will always defend what they did at Colorado. They did remarkable things there. To do that in 2 years, to get to 9-4, I don't give a damn. If anybody says any different, they're not watching college football. They don't know what they're talking about. That said, that's Folsom Stadium. That's Boulder, Colorado. Mm-hmm. That's college. This is the NFL. And you had a little bit of time last year, and there's a little bit of movement there, but ultimately, there's not a lot of faith in your team from the NFL. And so if there's not a lot of faith in the team from the NFL, it's up to Shedeur to gain the job, win the job, and then to go out and execute and play well and win football games. And then we could have all the primetime games we want. But they're going to make you earn it. If he were a number 1 overall pick, I would be surprised. I was surprised when you told me that about Cam Ward, to be frank with you. But then I looked at what they did last year, and it's like he came on a little bit as the year went on. It was an abomination at the beginning. They fired the coach, all those things. So I can understand it a little bit. Like, you kind of gotta do it different. And if you're not a number 1 overall pick, and they're not excited about where your football team's going to go, and there's not a lot of push after that, you're going to be in a lot of 1 o'clock games on a Sunday. And until they win football games, it ain't going to change. There's very little history that shows you that they're going to be able to do it. So I'm sorry, Anthony. Like, I don't think it's a rude awakening as much as it is just common sense. And if there's people who just have not been living in reality, boy, they're really going to hate it if we get to training camp and you know who ends up being the starting quarterback. You think that people have gotten mad and angry before. I can't imagine what it's about to be here if they go ahead and they decide to go with Deshaun Watson. So we're only just beginning in this. But 7-10. If they finish 7-10 this year, maybe Shedeur will look good. Maybe we'll get more primetime games next year. But if you're still just 7-10 this year, we'll probably have a lot of 1 o'clock games next year as well. It's okay. I think that I think that they're gaining in talent. They've had one very good draft that we can prove. I think we have another draft that is exciting. This draft has been exciting in what's supposed to be a bad draft. You put some wins together, you play as a team, we'll get excited. And guys, if they're winning 1 o'clock games, if they're winning the games, you won't give a damn. I don't need to play.
Think about Seattle this year.
Yes.
Seattle was under the radar the entire year. Not in prime time, not on national TV, not in those windows, and then look what happened.
If they beat the Raiders at 1 o'clock on a Sunday at Huntington Bank Field, it's still a win. It still counts. We'll worry about that next offseason about primetime games. I'm worried about winning right now. Coming up in 40 minutes, Jason Lloyd going to join us on the show. Does Daryl agree with the tone about that schedule? Because I know he says, and I agree with Daryl, you take a look at that schedule release video, he might not win that job, but they want him to win that job. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima on The Fan.
trust, choose Consumer Tire. Featuring top quality Bridgestone and Firestone tires plus expert repairs to keep you driving safe and smooth. Honest pricing, fast service, and locations near you. Consumer Tire, where your ride comes first. ConsumerTire.com.
Your plans this fall just came into focus.
That is fantastic.
Tell your family to download the Browns schedule from 923thefan.com.
I didn't even know who Matt Pat was until yesterday, and now I know. I didn't realize he's a local man. Daryl Ryder joins us right now. It's brought to you by Scheibman Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Hello, Daryl. Coming in hot, coming up at 9:45. Of course, Daryl's always coming in hot at 8:20 on a Friday. Daryl, what do you think of the Browns' record? What's the Browns' record now? I said 7-10. Lima said 6-11. What say you, dangerous one?
I went 8-9.
Wow. Why 8-9? You did one better than me, two better than Lima. Go ahead.
I actually had to stop my enthusiasm last night when we played the schedule game because I flopped on 6 games. But, yeah, it's an interesting layout for sure, especially early on with all the road games that they're going to play. And then they have that stretch November 15th to mid-December there where they're home for 5 consecutive weeks, 4 straight home games, and then their bye week before 3 or 4 on the road to wrap things up. So not a balanced schedule from, I guess, a travel standpoint, but the sunny side of that is they have the second fewest travel miles this coming season in the NFL. So other than the 2 trips to Florida, Jacksonville, and Tampa Bay among their longest road trips of the year. But yeah, I look at the schedule and I just feel like there are a lot of winnable games on this thing.
I totally agree with you. I absolutely totally agree with you. Like I saw some people like 2-5, like Hayden Grove had said 2-15, and he was like dead serious.
Yeah.
And I said, I think you're wishing. I just think maybe you just don't like the quarterback room. You don't have faith in any of them.
Right.
But I think this is probably with this schedule, and it might be, as Lima says, there's definitely teams that get close to the playoffs that aren't that good, or they get into the playoffs and they're not that good. Maybe it's a fake 500. Maybe it's a benefit of the schedule. I don't think it's going to be that crazy.
Right.
But I think that people who want to lose to get a quarterback in 2027, I don't think they're going to get their wish, man.
No, I don't either. And I actually had to talk myself down to 8-9. Like I said, I got a little over enthused early in the season there, and then I realized, okay, they're not a playoff team. I don't think they're going to have double-digit wins, so I ended up putting a couple of losses in there for the sake of putting some losses in there. But yeah, I just, I think they can split the first 2 games. Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, flip a coin which one you want to take. I said they'd win week 1. Carolina's, I know they're coming off that playoff season in air quotes at 8-9, but I still don't think that they're all that great. I think they can beat the Steelers. The Jets, they should have beaten them last year. They will beat them this year, I'm convinced of. Baltimore, Tennessee, things might be a little hairy there. I do believe they're going to beat this. They're going to sweep the Steelers this year for the first time in a very, very long time. Cincinnati, I think they'll split with them. And I put the Ravens down sweeping the Browns just again because I was piling up too many wins. I think Atlanta's beatable, even though I have them losing to Stefanski and the Falcons. But there's some winnable games on this schedule, Ken. I'm convinced of it.
So, Daryl, what are the national people getting wrong? What are you seeing that they're not seeing? The Athletic did an examination of all the rosters with their modeling. They have the Browns 29th. Vegas has them with the tied for the 4th worst Super Bowl odds. Win total has been anywhere in the neighborhood of 5.5 to 6.5. So why are you so high? Conversely, why are they so low?
Well, because, number one, I don't think that the Browns' opposition is that great, okay? I don't feel like this is murderer's row that they're facing. That's number one. Then number two, what the Browns have done this offseason. They rebuilt the offensive line. You've got 2 young wide receivers, and we're not talking 5th and 6th round wide receivers here. You're talking 2 of your first 3 draft picks in this draft class, wide receivers, Casey Concepcion, 24th overall, and then they added Denzel Boston, and maybe I'm overestimating the impact that those young men are going to have in that quarterback room. And yes, obviously, everything hinges on not only the decision they make as far as their starting quarterback, but also just the play at the position, what they're able to get from that position. That ultimately, I think, is going to determine whether or not this team fails, flips, or flops here in 2026.
Dangerous Sterile Rider joining us on the show. Casey Concepcion, will he be signed by OTAs next week?
I'm not really worried about it, but he's going to be signed. He's the last guy standing. They got all these guys are in these salary slots. There's not a whole lot that you're really negotiating here, other than maybe some bonus payouts or how the guarantees are laid out or whatever. But I'm not the least bit worried about his contract.
Do you care that I got to ask the real things before we start to get into conspiracy about the video here? Because I agree with you, Daryl. I agree with you, but I got to get to the real stuff first.
Yeah.
A bunch of 1 o'clock games and then the 8:15. Does it bother you that there's a bunch of 1 o'clock games at all?
Hell no.
Now, why is that, Daryl?
It's all about me, Ken. It means I get to watch Sunday Night Football this year.
I never really watched Sunday Night Football, to be frank.
Well, you're also getting up at 2 in the morning.
Well, I'm passing out by 7 o'clock.
Right. You're a little busy on Sundays there too, Ken.
That's what they say.
That's understandable. But yeah, I said this last night with Jake Volnick. This schedule does, to your point earlier about the Athletic and some of the national reads on this whole schedule and where the Browns might end up in 2026. Certainly, the NFL told you how they feel about the Cleveland Browns, right? 16 of the 17 games are 1 p.m. kickoffs. Your national television game is a Thursday night in October. However, let's remember, flex scheduling will begin starting in week 5, I should say. So the Browns could play themselves back into another primetime game, but they're going to have to earn that. And so, yeah, this schedule, all the 1 p.m. kickoffs on Sunday, which personally I love, that does tell you that there are very little expectations that the Browns are going to be a factor or a storyline league-wide in 2026.
Does it surprise you, though, given the fame and popularity of one of your quarterbacks that's going to be battling for a starting job, does it surprise you that they wouldn't be featured at least a few times or more prominently given the fact that he's a reality TV star?
No, because we don't know that he's going to start, number one. And number two, let's be real about it. There were just as many good moments as there were bad moments for him as a rookie.
Well, there were way more bad moments than good. I mean, he was ranked statistically the worst quarterback in the NFL, but
so there
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just not a lot of faith there right now. And again, they can play themselves into onto national television if they if they win a lot of games early. You're going to get a primetime game or two because that will become a story. But I think what the NFL is saying is to the Browns, if you want to be a story, you're going to have to earn it.
Daryl Ryder joining us on the show. All right, so you believe that Shedeur being featured prominently in the schedule release video means that they want him to win the job or that he's going to win the job? Let's be clear here. What do you think?
Well, I don't necessarily believe that. I would just say that I don't think it's an accident that he was in the video. Mm-hmm. He's obviously more marketable than Deshaun is, more popular than Deshaun is certainly. But my whole point in saying that last night, Ken, was that, and you know this, you've been around, you've been in that building, you've actually been in parts of that building that I've not been in. They don't do anything over there by accident. Okay, they're everything is vetted top to bottom multiple times. And so I'm just saying that I don't believe in coincidences in this case. And that, the fact that he was prominently featured in that little Street Fighter video that they did to debut their schedule, it was the first thing I noticed when I watched it.
I thought the same thing. And I think that they want to market their team in the best way possible.
Yes.
And I don't think that this means he's going to win the job. I think that this means that, yes, they want him to, and certainly the ownership wants him to win the job. I think they're going to let Todd Monken make his decision.
Yep.
And whatever happens, happens. But I think there's no I think. I know they want him to win the job.
Yeah.
They want him to be the starter.
Yeah, and just because they want him to win the job does not mean he's actually going to win the job. Like, there's a difference there. I want a lot of things in life, right? I mean, it has. So I just, like I said, when I watched that video last night, the first thing I did is I turned to Jake. I go, "You aren't going to believe this, but you will believe it. Guess who's featured in the video rather prominently?" And it is Shedeur Sanders, who I believe is going to be wearing number 2 this year.
Well, Miles is too, and everybody said we should trade him, so I don't know what to make of that now.
Well, the Browns have been
pretty adamant they ain't trading him. So
yeah, I don't think they're going to trade him this year, but I would watch out for next year.
All right, Daryl, now there are people on this very station that will criticize you if you change your opinions on a series based on how you see the team play basketball during the series. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. I think that's okay.
I don't understand how you needed to be criticized for saying that James Harden played like garbage in the first 2 games of the series when everybody knows that James Harden played like garbage in the first 2 games of the series. I'm just going to say, and I don't like to have these arguments too often, I don't think that is the champion's pose that somebody here thinks that is, but whatever.
Well, be that
I would call that just stating the obvious. That's just me, though.
Yeah, be that as it may, how much have you changed your tone? And like I've characterized it as a malaise in the city, and now I see the ticket prices for tonight, they've gone up like 250%. So given that, do you
amazing
think
what being able to clinch a trip to the conference finals does
but
for
are
you,
people
right?
buying in? Because to shell out that kind of money, they think it's going to happen tonight.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like it better happen tonight. But they better not have to go back to Detroit on Sunday, that's for sure, because I don't know that they're winning 2 road games, and I want to give them all their flowers, all their props. I mean, they have flipped this series on its head, considering how this thing started. It was very ugly up in Detroit the first 2 games, very sloppy. Heck, even the other night it was pretty sloppy with the way they played in some stretches. I posted on X that they really picked a bad time to return to sloppy basketball there early in the fourth quarter. And it started, obviously, in the first quarter as well with the 6 turnovers they had right out of the gate before they kind of tightened things up a little bit. And it's amazing to me how they can magically tighten things up. And I guess that's what drives me nuts, Anthony, is because if you can tighten it up, then why don't you come out with it tightened up? You know what I'm saying? Like, it really, because they're not playing to their potential. So I think they really got to get this thing done tonight. I think it was 2007 they fell down 0-2, won the next 4, whatever, to advance. I know that they had another series where Detroit won the first 2, but then came back and won the last 2 in the series as well. Don't want that history to repeat itself. But, yeah, I kind of feel like tonight is the night. Cavaliers got to lock this thing down and set themselves up for a Game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals Sunday at Madison Square Garden. But it starts with taking care of the basketball. To me, that is the story. I know we can talk about James Harden. We can talk about Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Max Strus with some key contributions on both ends of the floor, right? But to me, if the Cavaliers are going to win tonight, got to take care of the basketball. You cannot keep giving the Detroit Pistons all these extra possessions, which, by the way, they tend to turn into points. And when you're turning them over, there have been way too many empty possessions coming out of those turnovers for me. So for me, the number 1 key tonight, take care of the basketball.
Daryl, thank you very much for the time. We'll talk to you next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too, guys.
The Dangerous One, Daryl Ryder, brought to you by Scheib & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Jason Loy going to join us, columnist from The Athletic. 9:01 on The Fan. You know what we're going to talk about with him. And, of course, Game 6 coming up later on tonight here in downtown Cleveland. Coming in hot, 9:45. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. And in 5 minutes, going off of what Daryl just said, did the Cavs wake up a sleeping giant before Game 6? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan. Good
action.
They really picked a bad time to return to sloppy basketball there early in the fourth quarter. And it started, obviously, in the first quarter as well with the 6 turnovers they had right out of the gate before they kind of tightened things up a little bit. And it's amazing to me how they can magically tighten things up. And I guess that's what drives me nuts, Anthony, is because if you can tighten it up, then why don't you come out with it tightened up?
That was Daryl moments ago, and I started talking to Ken off the air, and I'm like, no, let's bring that back and bring it up on the air, because it's a complaint I've heard from a lot of people. I've heard the afternoon show, like, just come out and play harder. And to that, I think I would say, guys, coming into the series, wasn't Detroit slightly favored? They were.
I thought we were favored.
I thought Detroit was slightly.
I thought we were favored.
No, I think I said you were gone.
I was not here, but I thought we were favored.
No, it wasn't. It was, we were slight underdogs, but it was close. And part of it, Detroit.
Was it just for the game or for the entire series?
For the series, because they had home court advantage. They were the 1 seed.
Okay.
We had looked terrible against Toronto, right? There's a short turnaround for both teams from Game 7, and we'll get to another short turnaround that could transpire this weekend. But, Kenny, like, I think we have to accept one thing about this. The Cavs are a really good team, as evidenced they're one of only 6 teams left. It's why I was hopeful, like the Eastern Conference was wide open. But we're also going to be, I think now you might be sizable underdogs if you win. You know, for the Knicks series, just by virtue of the Knicks have been outstanding and have found their groove, have won like 5 in a row. They're starting to dominate.
The Knicks will be a heavy betting favorite.
Yes. Their fans are going to try to take over your arena. The short turnaround, they have rest. Like, I think we are still talking as if this was, you know, a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're not as good as we thought we were. But we've also,
I think we're better.
You think we're better than a month ago?
Yeah, I think
so.
We're better
Like the
than a month ago.
You think we're beyond the Toronto stuff?
Yes, I think that actually hardened us to made us better. I really do. I think we're better than what we were. I mean, if you're talking about when did the playoffs start? About a month ago, you're saying. I think we're better than what we were.
Well, we thought we would get by Toronto fairly easily.
Okay, that's true, but I think Toronto testing us. We've had to play different brands of basketball on different nights. We've had to switch how we play our game. There's been times, we've won games this year. The Cavs have won games this year by playing, or in this postseason, but won some games by playing the other team's brand of basketball. I thought you did it the other night. So I think we're a better team than what we've been. It doesn't make us the betting favorites. Doesn't mean we're going to be favored in the series. The Knicks blew out the 76ers. It's the Knicks. Yeah, they're going to be favored in the series as long as we win tonight and get ready for Sunday. Because Sunday, I didn't realize how early that game was going to be.
3:30.
So
right now, it's been reported.
This is what sucks for us.
Actually, the NBA did issue some times and dates, and that would be a short turnaround.
Yeah.
I mean, to sit there and play tonight at 7 o'clock, that game will finish. They'll be done. They'll be showering at like 11. And then, get to New York, maybe a shoot around, and then you have a game at 3:30 on Sunday.
What sucks
crazy
for us, because I think they win tonight. I think they close out the series. I get to celebrate in my office, and then we go on Monday, and I'm excited.
They're basically saying you're going to be down 1 game.
And I think we're going to be down 0-1 because of all how this matches up. I want them to win. I think we're going to lose game 1. And then I have to come in here and go over game 1. And I just want to make sure, because I want you to get back to your point about Daryl here in a second. Seeing the ticket prices, seeing the excitement, I said, I thought they woke up a sleeping giant. I said that for a reason, because I think for a lot of folks, what do you mean? What, Cade Cunningham, JB, what are you talking? No. I think the fans. I think the fans have finally been woken up towards they can trust this team. You're always going to be a Cavs fan. But do you like them all the time? I think they haven't been very likable for a lot of Cavs fans for a multitude of reasons that they pick out over this last season. And now I think they like them. They trust them again. They're tough. Everybody likes a good basketball team. They love a tough team. They looked tough the other night. And I think you've woken up the fan base that you can fall in love with us again. You can trust us again. Let's go out. Let's get game 6. But then you come back after game 1, and if they're down 1-0 in this Knicks series, I'm going to hear some stupid stuff on the radio on Monday.
The overreactions game.
Because I'm telling you guys, I'm going to come in here. If this goes the way I think it's going to go, I'm going to go, yeah, guys, they played 3 games in 5 days. They played 4 games in 7 days. Like, this is not conducive to winning against a team that's been waiting around for you.
It's the
for
penalty.
an entire week.
It is the penalty to having the troubles you've had, right? Because if you,
and so I'm going to get called soft on
if
Monday.
you had taken care of, we'd be sitting here too, and then we just would have had our rest and all that had we had taken care of the series.
Yeah.
But to the other point, and I've heard it from a bunch of people. I've heard it in the afternoon. I've heard Daryl
Back to what you were saying,
either
yes.
just play harder or stop it with the lazy turnovers. And I mean, at some point you have to recognize we're not the Golden State Warriors from 2018, right? We're not the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq in the first go around. We're not Oklahoma City this year. We're not those teams. So
I totally agree.
We got to stop judging us against, you'll eventually have the opportunity, because if you get matched up with those teams, if you get matched up with the Knicks next round, all right, yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough sledding. If you get matched up in a potential NBA Finals with Oklahoma City, that'll be your test. But you can't compare us to that. We're not expected to be that. We're not that. You can say, oh, well, you're the highest payroll going in, but nobody before the season thought we were going to be the odds-on favorite to win the championship. So if you're watching the playoffs, outside of Oklahoma City and outside of the Knicks the last 5 games, why would you expect us to be able to play complete games and dominant games?
Well, this is the
That's
same thing.
That's not who we've been all year.
To me, it's the same thing as play calling. We'll just call the good plays. Oh, it's that easy. Okay, well, we'll stop turning the ball over. Why do you turn the ball over? Well, there's an immense amount of ball pressure on James Harden. If he feels he can trust people at certain times, then he doesn't seem to turn the ball over. He didn't turn the ball over very much the other night. What happened? Oh, yeah, Donovan Mitchell took over the game and scored 39 points in the second half. Evan Mobley was excellent inside. They had help from other people as well as Max Strus. There is reasoning to all this of why it stops it. Why did things get better in the second half with James Harden? Well, you had more with Max Strus in the second half, so things got easier for you. There's cause and effect towards all of this.
There's also another good team that you're playing that can cause problems.
Exactly.
And they have the best player in the series.
Yeah.
They have Cade Cunningham.
Yes.
We had to double team him the entire final 5 minutes and in overtime to have a chance to win.
I'm not trying to rip on Daryl, and I'm not trying to rip on anybody else, but I got to agree with you, because as a football guy, why'd you throw that pick there? Well, you know what? We watched him on tape for 100 hours, and the safety just happened to fall into the fine. He finally learned his lesson after 7 weeks. The safety ended up being in the right spot, and he was ready for it. These things happen. And that's an excuse, but it's also a reason. It's also an explanation. So, yeah, I'm going to deal with some of the turnovers that happen because it is James Harden. He tends to turn the ball over. But why is he turning? Because he always has a ball in his hands. And if he trusts Max Strus tonight, I think that will be alleviated.
Are Denver Nuggets fans saying, Jokic, just score 35 a game and get 15 rebounds?
Or not just Max Strus, but you get what I'm saying.
Which he can do, but they lost. They are eliminated. They are no longer playing. Part of me is just I get fans wanting us to be a different team than we were. Great, that you're in line with every team in sports that doesn't win the championship. Your fan base wants you to be better. But I guess I must have missed the point where we were supposed to just be some dominant team. I was hopeful. I said, hey, if things come together, remember, we traded for James Harden in February. These other teams did not add somebody this late in the year.
We are.
And look, that's the risk you take. But hopefully the Cavs are getting better as we get further along. You said you think that's the case.
I think they're better than what they were to start out the postseason. Hell yes.
And I think that coming together with some adversity, we used to use that as a joke. But you also had LeBron James, Kyrie, Kevin Love. I mean, you had the super teams. This team is not a super team.
You wanted adversity because you knew who you were going to play in the finals. You don't know who you're going to play round to round. The league is different. I just said that yesterday. Yeah. Yes, we can't compare the Guardians now to the Indians of the 90s. It's an incomparable thing, and it's wrong to do. So we got to stop making these comparisons. Yes, there was an expectation, a bona fide expectation when LeBron was here that you were going to the finals. And I think a lot of us thought it was going to be that way and held an unrealistic standard when we got Donovan Mitchell here, and they have made the moves. They've made strong moves. These are big moves that they've made. But damn it, the rest of the league is different. You didn't have a second apron then. You didn't have the player movement, or you don't have the player movement like you did then. It's so much different. And I think because of that, and trying to judge them by this era, because I know it wasn't that long ago. We're talking about 8 years ago. It's still a different era of basketball. This team has gotten better throughout this postseason, and I think they proved that in Game 5. Coming up in 5 minutes, Jason Lloyd. Maybe he disagrees with me. Maybe he does, Tone. He loves to. We'll see. whether or not Jason Loyes agrees or disagrees. Coming up in 5 minutes on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman here for the Ohio.
sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Headline sports news every 20 minutes from the University Hospital's Sports Desk. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Remember them guests appear on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, call Kyle Wright hotline, and we got one of them here momentarily as John is taking his sweet-ass time bringing them on. Oh, because we have a giveaway. I don't know where the hell it is.
We've got a Connie.
We have a giveaway, that's why.
Here it is.
Yeah, Connie.
Enter the code word MUSIC. MUSIC. 923thefan.com before 10 a.m. Your chance to win a 4-pack of fun packs to the Berea National Rib Cook-Off and Beer Fest Memorial Day weekend at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds, which includes 4 admission tickets, rib samplers, bottles of water. Get details at BereaRib.com. It's all brought to you by Berea National Rib Cook-Off and Beer Fest.
Say that word again.
Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. Music.
Music is the word?
That's right.
Okay, that's a nice word.
Yeah.
Still efforting
was told Kenny
Jason for whatever reason.
We just unveiled to people who may not have known.
John's got to figure it out.
If the Cavs win tonight, it'll be a quick turnaround. 3:30 at MSG on Sunday.
Absolutely terrible.
And then depending on whether they win tonight or they win a Game 7, either way, they would host, if they win, they would host the Knicks on Saturday night. Do you know what courtside tickets would cost on Saturday night here for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavs?
Tell me now.
Was told from an esteemed leading ticket broker in town anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a ticket. So NBA Finals prices. And some of the highest.
Between $20,000 and $30,000?
That's right.
You talk, I got to text Jason.
Most likely, that, of course, is assuming that you would get the Ben Stillers of the world, the Jerry Seinfelds, the Larry Davids, the Tracy Morgans, Kendall Jenner. I told you I was watching Marty Supreme. Timothy Chalamet has been front and center, even in Philadelphia.
I can't name you anything Timothy Chalamet has been in. I just like Timothy Chalamet just because I know he knows ball.
Was he in the Bob Dylan movie?
I never saw a Bob Dylan movie.
I don't know, but he was the newest Willy Wonka.
I didn't see the newest Willy Wonka.
Me either. It looks very creepy.
Yeah. Well, the story is very creepy.
Did you ever see
Timothy Chalamet looks very creepy.
Did you ever see the... Oh, okay. I was about to say the Tim Burton.
Worse than Johnny Depp.
Where the hell is Jason?
I thought you were going to ask where the hell is Johnny Depp.
Maybe we'll find out during Coming In Hot at 9:45.
They ever get those sheets cleaned?
216-474-00. Coming In Hot is at 9:45, not at 9:04. Put the safety back on.
Some stains don't come out. I mean, that's just a reality.
Safety on.
Either way, do you think tonight that this thing that Daryl kind of threw out there, and I've heard from a lot of fans, knowing that they got to get going because they don't want this series going any longer than it has to, and that, of course, you could, as happy as we are about the Cavs today, they could be eliminated by Sunday afternoon. Like, think about how crazy, or Sunday night, I should say, because that game would be at 8 o'clock, a Game 7. Do you think there will be an urgency from the Cavs, or is this just who they are? A team with James Harden's never going to have that kind of urgency. And maybe even Donovan Mitchell. A team, composed of those guys, not to mention Evan Mobley. They're just not that way.
You say, everybody wants to come out hot. No, the urgency to do what again? To make sure we're clear?
To have that urgency, like, hey, we can't allow this series to go any longer than it has to. It puts us at more of a disadvantage.
Yes. They do not want to go back to Detroit. It's hard enough to win on the road, man. Has that not been proven? I think for a lot of teams in their series, it's hard to win on the road. So they don't want to send this thing back to Detroit, have to deal with Detroit again. I mean, everything is in your favor right now. You got all the momentum now. You went out, you took that game away. I mean, you think about how close it was to do or die, terrified, nervous feelings today for Cavs fans. 3 minutes left to go in the game, you're down by 9. And that, to me, that's why I think they've gotten so much better. I don't think Cavs teams... I don't think they win that game last year. I don't think they win that game ever with this current group of the Cavaliers. So obviously, I think that they're so much better than they ever been before, Lima. So yeah, there has to be a sense of urgency. Win, get your feet up for a moment, get on over to New York. There will be a feeling out situation there. If they go out to New York on Sunday and they lose, I'm not going to feel that worked up about it. Now, if they lose tonight and they go back to Detroit on Sunday night and they lose on Sunday night, I'll probably do the show from underneath the table coming up on Monday morning. But I think that there will be a sense of urgency for this team to go out there and to beat the Detroit Pistons. I guess we're just not getting Jason. I hope he's okay. I'm a little bit worried about him, too.
The James Harden discourse has been incredible because, obviously, the first two games, it was abysmal, right? I mean, on both ends, he was abysmal. I know he had the fourth quarter in game one where he scored like 8 straight points, part of an 11-0 run. He took Duncan Robinson to the hole, and I was like, all right, maybe this is something opening up, and then game 2 wasn't very good either. And then we saw a very different James Harden. Game 3, he's hitting clutch shots. Game 4, I thought he played a well-balanced game. And then game 5, he had his fingerprints all over that game on both ends of the floor. And I say both ends of the floor because they had the numbers of how much in the way of pick-and-roll action they actually had him involved in. Mm-hmm. It was pretty crazy. It was the entire game they were going after both Donovan Mitchell, but mostly James Harden, and he came out fairly clean. It was surprising even to me, who's been a defender of his, just how often that he was able to maintain defensively a stance. Came up with some big plays. He had nice contests. He had a couple of blocks. He ended up with 3 blocks on the game. So I was blown away by what James Harden did as a two-way player, and I'm wondering just at this stage, are you feeling a little better about the James Harden experience? Because
how could you not?
I've seen some people who are still like, no, this is not something I trust. Nick Wilson made it sound like it's 50-50. Like, hey, he does some great things and then he does some terrible things. And I'm like, to me, it's been more 70-30.
If you just strongly dislike James Harden, I guess you're just never going to trust him. Cavs Conversations brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside Hard Iced Tea to remind you to please enjoy that Surfside Hard Iced Tea responsibly. Listen, I've made jokes at James Harden's expense. I don't know how you can't like the James Harden scenario right now. Like, this team was stuck. So I had a back and forth with a couple of people yesterday about it. Like, not a nasty one, but there's still definitely James Harden quote-unquote truthers out there. Listen, when it ends, it'll end soon, and it'll end poorly. Because he's 36 years old. So it's going to end sooner than later, and it's going to end very bad and very awkwardly when it does. So ultimately, I do think that the criticizers of James Harden, the critics, are going to end up being right, and they're going to be telling you I told you so. Because it's still going to be hard to close out Detroit tonight. It's going to be hard. You're not going to be favored against the Knicks, and if you get over the Knicks, you are not going to be favored in the NBA Finals. And so they'll ultimately say, because James Harden, remember, James' legacy is about championships now. That's the only thing that there is left. So they're going to say, I told you so, if they don't win it. But I don't expect it to go a long time. Like, guys, we're here. This is it. It's this year and next year, and then it's probably getting broken up, and that's it. Whatever you do, I'm ready for it. So they had...
Yeah, unless Evan Mobley, glimpses we have seen have taken off.
You can keep Evan, but I think with the other guys, it's probably going to go in the other direction. So you can keep Evan, and if Evan takes off, say the best case scenario happens. This is big picture stuff, but let me explain. If the best case scenario happens, they go out, they play very well. Best case scenario is to win a championship, but say they don't. But the best case scenario is that Evan Mobley, other than a championship, is Evan Mobley ends up taking off and becomes that 1% player. Now, it hasn't happened over 5 years. I don't think it is going to happen, but he's obviously still a very good player. But say he does. You could still hold on to him. You could liquidate the other assets. Now, maybe Evan may decide what he wants to do, and that's a totally different problem. But say Evan is fine. Then you could bring in other people who want to play with Evan. You could get a new thing going if you want to. However, I kind of don't see it that way. We got the rest of this series. We got another series. Hopefully, we got an NBA Finals. And then we got next year. And then next year is next year. And I think after next year, if you don't win a championship, yeah, it's probably going to get broken up. And I hope that we can keep the peace and all part as friends. I'm not trying to be a downer about it. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. So the ones that are going, I can't believe you'd make this move. I can't believe you make this move. Guys,
they did.
This wasn't going to hang around forever. And they were up against it. They had the highest salary in the NBA, the highest paid roster in the NBA. You have tapped yourself out of resources when it comes to the draft. You've tapped yourself out of other trades that you could possibly make. You're in the second apron. There's nothing more. There's very little you can do. So you could have tried to hold out with Darius Garland for a wing that you were never gonna get. You were never gonna get. So 36-year-old unpopular villain James Harden, who's done phenomenally for us, was the best you were going to get. And that's why I was fine with the trade, and I'll defend Kobe Altman even if they do end up losing the next 2 games. He had to do what he had to do.
We'll see, because...
In every case, I think that he had a proverbial gun to his head that he had to make these trades.
Well, so here is also, though, what's on the line, because finally Harden's starting to get some credit. I mean, even Bill Simmons, who hates James Harden, he said last night on his pod, like, hey, this could be a really fun story, but what's in front of him? A Game 6. And what could also be in front of him? A Game 7. And what is even a defender of the move, what have I said about the potential of a James Harden Game 6 or Game 7? Yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm a little squeamish about that. But he's gotten stronger as the series has gone on. He's figured out how to attack some of the players defensively.
Oh, see, now that's a hell of a thing to bring up.
Well, defensively, Harden carrying the offensive load, according to Real Cavs fan on social media. He's a good follow. He said, and he has the numbers, he held Detroit to 37.5% shooting, 4 turnovers and 2 assists. And that's with repeatedly being targeted and also having the ball in his hands the entire game. Like, where did anybody ever think that James Harden could have that high of usage and then also play that kind of defense over the course of 43 minutes, which is what he played if you add overtime and regulation? Like, that's insane. And that now it's got me wondering, who could they have traded for with Darius Garland with his depressed trade value? Who could they have traded for that would be doing better than James Harden?
Nobody.
Like, you have to say this.
Nobody. It's the only trade they could have made for any quality.
And now, again, if they get eliminated over the next 2 days, the trade will be considered a total failure. It'll be a total failure. But you can't deny.
If you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's not a failure. This is a success.
I think there will be some people that will still say it will be.
Then they're wrong because they are not living in reality. This is what it was. So I know who I'm talking about here. You can come on here and make grandiose statements, even though I don't even know if you watch the damn games, because I'm going to tell you right now, this was the trade they had to make. This was the trade they had to make. So love it or hate it, it was a necessity that had to be done. I'm frustrated now. I'm getting ready for Game 6. If you're bringing up the trust question, I don't know if I trust James. I don't trust James Harden more than I trust Donovan Mitchell because of the. Do I trust Jared Allen more than I trust James Harden? Different? You need a different result out of Jared Allen. I'm asking a question. Do you trust Jared Allen,
Kenny, I think,
more than James Harden?
I think almost,
in this spot.
I think almost. Oh, more?
Because now I think I'm forced to go, all right, I got Donovan. I do trust Donovan more than I trust James Harden. Because of the experience, because of the talent, I have to trust James Harden more than I trust the other two. But if we didn't make the trade, you telling me you trust Darius Garland over James Harden? Ever?
No, okay. That's a definitive no.
So if they win tonight, or somehow they have to play Game 7 because they could lose, it's going to be a tough game. I think they'll win. If they end up and they win tonight, and end up, now I'm getting texts, I think we're going to try to get them here. If they end up winning tonight, and we're going to Game 1, even though I don't think they're going to win Game 1 in New York, this is a successful trade. Even if James plays like garbage and is 1 for 13 from the field, and we just end up getting hammered in Game 1 by the Knicks, it's a successful trade. Okay, 216-474-0092. We might have him next. We might get to you. Do you trust James Harden?
I want to hear from the fans on this.
Yeah, honestly. We're getting ready for Game 6. Do you trust James Harden in Game 6? Because now we're getting down to the time. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima coming in hot. Coming up at 9:45 on The Fan.
Returning lessees are just $2.19 a month. Brunswick Auto Mart. Car buying made truly simple.
39 months, $29.95 down plus fees due at signing. No security deposit required. 7,500 miles per year. Includes all incentives. Offer ends 5/31/26.
Talk sports deep into the Cleveland night. Overtime with Jake Volnick. Weeknights at 7. Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
"20 minutes away, coming in hot," which Lima has... I don't know, man. You've already destroyed the segment today by some of the things you've been saying.
What?
God, the Vrabel-Rossini stuff, a couple of the other ones about... I've had to dump you once about the politics and all the other ones.
You dumped me? Can we be honest?
Yes, I did.
Can we be honest, by the way,
Dumped you big time.
About the big time? Not just dump me. You dumped me big
Dumped
time.
you with extreme prejudice. Coming in hot at 9:45.
Those are my favorite. If the NFL had sent a memo out to 32 teams, I don't want to get all Mike Florio on you, but if they have sent a memo to all 32 teams to say, hey, watch it with the Rossini-Vrabel stuff, they wouldn't have done it. So the NFL loves this. They invite this stuff.
Well, it's not the NFL's fault they did what they did, allegedly.
No,
allegedly.
But I'm saying, if the NFL would have sent, because what were the two teams that
they weren't allegedly found in pictures together. There are a bunch of pictures.
Sure, but the NFL could have said, hey, we don't want this story.
Maybe they both just like fishing for perch. I don't know.
We don't want this story to be as pervasive as it is. We want it to start to die down. The last thing they would want is for certain NFL teams to mock it in their release videos, which all go viral.
Did? At least two of them did?
And two of them did, which means the NFL, they love it. They love it.
No, they
don't mind it at all.
No, they don't love it. They do not love it. I just think they're entertainment, and they go, that's... You did that to yourself, so they're going to
right now,
go ahead and do it.
We are roughly 20 minutes away from coming in hot. Would you like to send the memo out to our listeners and callers and those that participate in the final segment of the show? Would you like them to abstain from any of that type of toilet humor when it comes to Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini? Speak once or forever hold your peace.
Do whatever you want.
Okay, so...
You can't accuse them of... Actually, neither of them has said they were doing what a lot of people imply they were doing. Again, maybe they just both like catfishing.
And interlocking fingers.
Terrible fish reference. Maybe they were getting ready for the Bassmasters Classic a few years ago. You know, you don't know.
Maybe Diana Rossini comes from a long...
Dumped it.
What are we doing?
I dumped it.
Come on.
No, I dumped it. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at you. Don't be mad at me. All right. Yeah, you can make Rossini and Vrabel references. If teams are going to do it, fine. All of them were better than that Cardinals one. That one was disturbing.
I'm still trying to understand that one.
Terrible, disturbing, cheap AI slop. All right. Do you trust James Harden? Game 6. Eastern Conference semis. Do you trust him?
Whew.
Trust is a hell of a word. Trust is a hell of a word.
What have we known about James? Now, last year...
You can say, I believe in you.
Yeah,
that means you trust him.
Last year against the Clippers, I think he had a masterful game. I'm sorry, with the Clippers and against the Nuggets. He had a masterful Game 6 and then not so good Game 7. And typically, Game 5s is where he has shined over the career. Danny Parkins was all over this. He's like, I'm expecting a big Game 5 James Harden, and he had a whole list. He had the crack staff over there put together the good Game 5s. The Game 6s, you can't find a ton of.
Lateral hazard or whatever the show's called. I'm sorry.
So, I will say he does seem to be getting stronger as the series goes on, does he not?
Yes.
So I have to say that, like, I think he's kind of figured them out, what he can't do and what he can do. Yes, he's still going to turn the ball over 4 times tonight at least. The goal is, let's keep it at 4. Let's not have it balloon to 8. Because if James Harden turns the ball over 8 times tonight, they'll probably lose, and we'll go to a Game 7, and we'll be biting our fingers off. Not our nails. We'll be biting our fingers off. I don't even know if I want to watch Game 7 if they lose tonight. We're right back to that territory. You weren't here at the start of the series. So, you were here for the Toronto series when I said similar
that's right.
things.
You weren't going to watch Game 7. But I wasn't there for Game 7.
I would be very nervous.
Did you watch Game 7?
I did.
So you'll watch Game 7 against the Pistons?
I'll be very nervous if they lose tonight. So, no, I mean, James Harden still has the bugaboos of years past, but we have seen this version of James where, yes, he's going to commit a few turnovers, too many. sometimes way too many. But then he's also going to make winning plays. And I look back, not even at the offensive play, like, yeah, he did a nice job getting the defense to converge on the right side, the right wing, and then he threw it out to Evan Mobley to cut the lead to 2. That was awesome. He also had 2 key defensive plays at the end of regulation and 1 key defensive play in overtime, but then he also missed 3 free throws in overtime. Mm-hmm. So he's going to give you the full gamut of the James Harden experience. I just hope we can keep the turnovers. And I went over yesterday the types of turnovers that are okay and the ones that aren't. Let's be a little more judicious tonight. He is going to turn the ball over. That's part of the package with him. He's going to take chances that most other guys can't or won't take.
You would naturally trust him over a lot of other guys. Like I asked you in the last segment about Jared Allen. Jared Allen, I expect him to do, but because of what is expected out of the 2 top players that you have, in Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, you're forced to trust them both. Even though James Harden does have a significant history in Game 6 and Game 7. Here's Danny Green. He was on Baskin and Phelps, former Cleveland Cavalier, current broadcaster. Danny Green had this to say about James Harden. He says a great fit for your Cleveland Cavaliers.
I think James is a great fit for this team if he plays the way we know he's capable of. That's the only issue, right? People have issue with him that his production, his aggressiveness drops in the playoffs. Biggest thing for me is just, if you just play solid and don't turn the ball over, that'll give your team a plus. Like, I don't expect him to do much at this point. I mean, a lot of people don't. But I think he's a really good fit. As you can see, like when he's playing well and those other guys thrive, it opens up the floor for Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. They get easy baskets, easy dunks. He also can score, but he's a great facilitator. He's one of very few guys that will adjust his game from being an elite scorer to an elite point guard passer and being a system. So I think he's a great fit and allow Don to be off the ball some and also not exert as much energy.
Coming in hots at 9:45, all you psychos. I have to fit this in, though. This is very interesting. This was also, I think Baskin asked this question to Danny Green about James Harden, and I think this is why it's been a little lukewarm with him here in Cleveland. I think this is why there are some people going, well, even after the great performance he had in Game 5, he was asked whether or not James Harden likes playing in Cleveland.
I think he likes to win, man. Because it's like less load, carry for him. In LA with the Clippers, he had to carry on a different load, and they weren't winning as much. They turned around, but he wants to be in the playoffs. So he's in a situation where he doesn't require a lot of him to be the superstar, and he can win games and be in the East and be competitive. So I think he does like it there, and also he has an opportunity to get his extension there if that may happen or not.
I think Danny Green is 100% right. 100. I couldn't agree with him even more. And the reason James Harden hasn't been here a long time. I'm sure he finds the people here nice. He had that signing of the, what's he have, wine?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He had that signing at the Speedway. I'm sure he had a nice time with everybody there. He knows the people are nice here, but he's been around the block many, many times over. I don't think he's going to sit there and say he's fallen in love with the area or anything like that.
I think he's fallen in love with new contracts.
Yeah, and by the way,
that's what James Harden falls in love with.
He's 36 years old, so how much can he really? I mean, Donovan's going to spend a significant part of his prime, whether it's very successful or not, spend a significant part of his prime here. I believe even if he decides that he'd rather go somewhere else here after next year, I'm hoping it's I hope it's never, but after next year, he may still love Cleveland. He still may like Cleveland. I think James Harden is exactly what Danny Green said. He just likes him. He likes to win. He likes there being a little less pressure on him. He can share the basketball a little bit more, and he can go and play at a very high level and maybe take a crack at it again. But I'm not going to sit there and tell everybody he's fallen in love, but I think some people, that's what they hold against him. He has been a mercurial figure for a lot of fans. They didn't like watching him play basketball when he was in Houston or Los Angeles, even though you didn't get a chance to watch him that much in Los Angeles and Houston. They certainly didn't like watching him in Philadelphia. They didn't like watching him in Brooklyn. They did like watching him at OKC. That's like the one thing you got. Other than that, there's been a lot of hate watching James Harden. That doesn't just change just because his jersey's changed for a lot of people. For me, I just thought it was a great trade. And it's a trade I would have made because I don't think we're going to get – it's a depreciating value with James Harden, but I also happen to think it's going to be that way with Darius Garland. 216-474-0092. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I think Kobe Altman, look, it will not be considered a win if they end up losing this series. But I think one thing Kobe has to be given credit, even from the people that didn't like the trade, like they have maximized the trade. They have in these playoffs. Yes. You can say that aging 10 years wasn't smart and all that, and this is going to come back to haunt us down the road, although they had to make a decision anyway. They were going to trade Darius at the end of the year anyway. I think people forget that. He had already wanted an extension, and now he's admitting.
Rich Paul said it publicly.
Yeah, now his agent, and now he's admitting by the end of the year he's on 9 toes. So you had to do something. Who could they have gotten that could have helped them as much as James Harden's helped them already?
I'm sure there will be
playoffs?
rumors, but I think that this was the most realistic one because it's the one that they squeezed the trigger on. Let me get to Dante in Cleveland. You're next up on the Fan. Hello, Dante.
Yes, Dantes, D-O-N-T-E-Z.
Dantes.
Yes.
Nicely produced, John. Go ahead there, Dantes.
Yeah, that's born in Cleveland, raised in Twinsburg. But I think it was a good trade. You got to think of the last 2 years that we made it to the second round. How many games have we won when we got to the second round? What, one game, gentleman sweep? We're on the verge of right now winning one more game. Did we go to the Eastern Conference Final? So I believe it was a successful trade.
It's not going to be something here, Dante. And I see you have the proper perspective on things. And I know we're getting ready for a Game 6, so this is kind of big picture, and I don't want to go too crazy on it. But you have the proper perspective on this, Dantes, is that you see a guy who's going to be able to help out this basketball team, who's going to be able to take this team where they needed to go to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Because we had to be really realistic with each other. The Eastern Conference Finals is kind of where they had set it. If they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think it calms down a lot of people. All right, now there might be trades that they have to make. And we know Giannis is going to be a conversation. We also know that LeBron is going to be a conversation. You know that as well. And Dantes, thank you very much for the call. You know that as well. With those two possibilities out there, you still can't guarantee it. You could almost guarantee it with this one with James Harden. That's why they made that move. I'm forced to trust James Harden out of circumstance. But so far, I got no reason to dislike what he's done. And going into Game 6, guys, there's nothing else you can do. You have to try to trust him because you're going to need him to be able to beat Detroit tonight and close Detroit out and then get ready for the New York Knicks on Sunday. But no matter what, I will have to say, even if they get blown out by 40 on Sunday against the New York Knicks, I'm saying on Monday, if they're in the Eastern Conference Finals by the time this mic opens up at 6 a.m., the trade was successful because that's where they wanted to go. It's a successful move. Can't guarantee anything else. 216-474-0092. Why do I throw the number out? It's time for coming in hot. 216-474-0092. Coming in hot. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. I've already said we'll allow. I mean, you can't sit there and say anything pornographic for crying out loud, but there's things you can bring up.
I've been dumped twice today.
I'm sorry about that. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. I was a little sensitive about the last one. I'm sorry about that. Ken Carman, Tone Master General, coming in hot, coming up next on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman here for American Platinum Door and Gate.
joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
The Browns' schedule is out and training camp is just around the corner. Make your plans to tailgate with The Fan this fall. We're your radio home for the Browns. 92.3 The Fan.
Before we get to coming in hot, I have some intel here. Tone. Actually, you have it as well. We were both texting something.
Uh-huh.
So we brought up that they are putting restrictions in for ticket sales as far as where you live. This has happened before. I think the first instance I heard of this, I think the Rangers and Lightning were having a playoff series in the NHL, and they didn't want a bunch of Rangers fans in town. Maybe it was the Devils, I'm not sure, but I think it was a Lightning game. And I'm texting, I got to be careful how I read this. Cavs are not allowing floor seats to be resold the rest of the playoffs. There was a situation where certain people from other organizations got some tickets on the floor seats. It was a whole thing. And so they're making sure that Cavs fans are Cavs fans. And that Cavs fans will be Cavs fans when we host the Knicks.
Yeah, now I wonder how the season ticket holders feel about this. So if you have lower bowl tickets and all of a sudden you have, Knicks people, if they win and we advance to the next round next Saturday night in prime time, if Knicks fans are like, yeah, I'll give you $10,000 for your lower bowl ticket that you paid, $1,000 for or $800 for, I'll give you $10,000. Like, how do they police that? Like, how do the Knicks people even get to the point where they can offer that to the actual season ticket holders? It opens up a can of worms, right? Like, me and you, we love this. We love them boxing out Detroit fans or potentially Knicks fans. But on the other side of things, if you bought the tickets, you're like, they're mine now. I want to sell them. Mm-hmm. I want to get the value for them. The Cavs aren't going to buy them off me for $10,000. Like, how do you feel about that? It opens up a whole can of worms.
It does.
And I'm sure the contracts are written so that the Cavs can police this. There's no way they would do this if it could be contested easily.
I guess you just take the highest amount you can get from a Cavs fan, and to be damned. I mean, it's their discretion. It's the Cavs tickets, technically. You just technically rent it in so many ways, I guess, right?
But there is a resale market that's legal.
I understand that, but it's also their ticket. They have the right to refuse service if they want to do that.
And that's what they're saying.
If they're giving a refund. And they're planning on giving a refund if they deem you're not a Cavs fan. Well, this is going to be interesting to get into next week because I think the Cavs are winning today. It is time for Coming in Hot.
All right, Cleveland, it's time to get whatever you want off your chest. Cleveland, you're coming in hot. The phone lines are open now.
Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. 216-474-0092. Hello, you're coming in hot.
New Drake album just dropped, and I bet that Ken tuned in to listen to it. He thought it was about another type of ice.
We are off and running, aren't we? All right, here we go. Hello, you're coming in hot.
I just want to say, go Guardians, beat the Reds, and go Cavs. Let's get this clinched game tonight and go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Come on, Cavs, let's go. Let's go, Cavs.
Let's go, Cavs. Let's go, Cavs. Now that's nice. That's a nice palate cleanser.
Well,
there we go.
Here's what I wonder.
Well done.
We can censor here, but can they censor if in the final moments there is a certain blank the Knicks chant that rings out?
Not on the radio.
No, I'm saying at the game.
Oh.
Tonight.
I don't want them doing that. Not here. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Let's just say that the next round of omelets is on me, gentlemen. Better taste great with beer.
Okay, that was the end of that call. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Just when I thought you two couldn't possibly say anything dumber, you go and say something like this. And totally redeem yourself. Boys, Scarface sucks. Overrated movie. It needed to be said. Lima, you were right. Real Cavs fans would welcome LeBron back with open arms and not think twice about it. Who cares if he left twice? If he comes back again, the city would embrace him instantly. That caller from the other day, was it Nick in a car? probably literally lives in his car because his family kicked him out for having such a bad, awful take on LeBron. Ken, champions pose to you for not going full Andre Smith week 1 on soon-to-be all-star closer Kate Smith.
That's right.
Owen doesn't get enough credit. Absolute glue guy for the team. We need a Owen on the board appreciation day. Plus, he's got a sweet beard. And John?
He's got a good beard.
John don't know ball.
No, John does. Thank you very much. What a great call. Rackham. You're welcome for the vine. It's glad. Yeah, by the way, the Scarface reference, you got to go listen to the emerging podcast scene from Tuesday. Was able to get that off my chest. Hello, you're coming in hot.
If this Ray-Bowl Rossini situation can prove anything, said your daddy issues could have been worse, Lima.
We're still trying to sort through that. Mark my words.
That was a good one. Hello, you're coming in hot. They got nervous.
Hello.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Top 6 hottest guys at 92.3 The Fan. Andy Baskin. Earl the Pearl.
Check.
Ken.
Check.
New Mitch.
Ooh.
Daryl. Honorable mention, Dustin Fox. And number 1, Ken Carman on the Fox 8 News.
Look at that.
Double.
You got 2.
Somebody's a chubby chaser out there, aren't you? Check my ass out. It's nice to be ogled. It's nice to be ogled every once in a while. I would love to be catcalled walking down the street.
Doesn't happen enough.
I would love it.
Let's go back to catcalling in this world.
No. Just for me. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Good morning, my Cleveland family. This is your sheriff, Evan Mobley, also known as the Bob Ross of the NBA. Tonight, we will be making a beautiful painting for you with lots of happy clouds. But let's all remember, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents, like my Supermax contract. Cavs in 6, baby.
Come on.
It's pretty good.
It is good. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Cam.
Yeah.
Hey, my wife and I were your neighbors on a cruise across the hall in cabin 59.
Okay.
You and Lisa got your pineapple decal on your door, so my wife grabbed it for you and wanted to know if you wanted us to drop it off to you in the borough and maybe play another round of ball on the floor.
Oink for your sausage, piggies.
Spending more money on pineapples in Streetsboro than middle school sports.
Okay, why do you trick me into doing this?
What?
You know I want to get it off my chest. You're killing me.
I saw Coach up there on TV.
Next Friday, I might get it off my chest during coming in hot.
Please
There's still
do.
conversations. It's up to them. Ball's in their court. Might start naming names. We'll see. All right. Hello, you're coming in hot.
I'm calling to complain, bro. Is y'all producer, like when he's switching over on the ball last night, is he blowing his breath into the microphone?
What do you mean? Oh, is he using a mic cover when he's doing it? Why? What's the matter?
I'm just saying, if he blowing his breath in, yeah, that right there.
Oh, that's an indicator to switch.
Yeah, because we had to tell him we were getting too many awkward transitions.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. I'm about to say, if he did that, if his breath was doing that, because he stank up my car, man.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, I mean, you can sound off complaints. We can take 2 more. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hey, listen, if anybody sees Kid Rock at the game tonight, be sure to accidentally spill a couple beers on him. And I hate games on Prime because I can't switch over to the Yankee game and I have to watch commercials. Oh, see ya.
Did we all go through a Kid Rock phase?
Never for me.
I had a CD stolen from me when I was 14 years old.
All
Whoever
summer
did it,
long is a beauty.
Whoever stole it did me a favor. Did you see that new Luke Bryan video that came out that everybody's making fun of, and rightfully so? Poor Waylon Jennings.
My Kid Rock
Poor
phase.
George Jones.
My Kid Rock phase is when I see him on Bill Maher's show. That's it.
Was he on Bill Maher?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's been on a bunch of times.
Hello, you're coming in hot. No, not interested. Hello, you're coming in hot. I hit the button.
Yeah,
I did it. I had to. Yep, had to hit it. Had to hit it. Mm-hmm. Had to do that. All right, here we go. Hello, you're coming in hot.
I'm here with Max Struess. Max, big game tonight. Hey, it's going around town that you're the most attractive player on the Cavs. Have you heard that? Yeah. And I guess Shaq referred to you as pretty. Does that bother you? No.
That's it.
That'll do it.
Wrap it up,
baby.
So that's good. All right.
Cavs 3.5-point favorites tonight.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Close it out. We'll end up winning it.
Please close it out.
Stop it. Stop. Shut up.
Is this going to
Stop
be
being
another?
nervous.
Is this going to be another Harden all over the place game?
You know, the radio media in this town, all you guys do is sit there and you're afraid of your own shadows.
I am.
There's no happy medium. We're either saying stupid things that we have to answer for, and then we act like we didn't say them, or we're all afraid of our own shadows. Stop being nervous. Everything's going to be fine, all right? Yes, I did say that if they lose tonight and on Sunday, I will be doing the show from under the table.
Yes.
I don't know if the microphone will reach. We'll figure out a way.
You're going to be following Sarah's bib number,
No,
26
God, no.
on
No,
Sunday.
I don't care. Good luck to her, but I'm not gonna watch. I went to the marathon one time. I felt very out of place. Very out of place. And it started snowing while I was there.
Kenny, I get to wake people up at 5:30 a.m. that
Yes,
are
you
staying in
do.
the nearby hotels. All right, Cleveland, let's go! People just went to bed 2 hours earlier from the wedding.
You need to be up. You need to be up cooking breakfast
Get
or
them
something.
up. Let's go.
Have a wonderful weekend, friends. Have a wonderful Tall Boy Friday. Go Cavs. Go Guardians.
I've been watching dudes.
Do it full-throated. Get some sack.